Chapter 51, Are You Here to Take a Shit? The man-faced demon spider roared, its speed undiminished, and in the blink of an eye, it was already in front of Ning Chuan. Two of its front legs lifted, about to stab down at Ning Chuan, whose body was covered by a sword shield. Just then, a buzzing sound suddenly rang out, growing louder and louder, instantly becoming extremely sharp. The man-faced demon spider seemed to sense a huge threat. Its body hair bristled, and it retreated violently. The next moment, the shattered spherical debris that the man-faced demon spider had crashed into came alive, transforming into hundreds of thumb-sized silver beetles, densely covering the man-faced demon spider's surroundings. Ning Chuan didn't give the man-faced demon spider any time to recover. He immediately used his mental force to slightly urge them, and these devouring gold bugs all rushed towards the man-faced demon spider, as if their lives depended on it, instantly covering the man-faced demon spider with a faint silver layer. The man-faced demon spider immediately shrieked in pain, fleeing in all directions, but the devouring gold bugs were like maggots clinging to bone. No matter what it did, it couldn't shake them off. Instead, they continuously gnawed at its flesh and blood. Ning Chuan chuckled inwardly. Devouring gold bugs are the bane of spiders, and the man-faced demon spider's web can only be sprayed up to 3 times a day. If its web were still there, it might have posed a threat to my juvenile devouring gold bugs. It's a pity that without its web, it's destined to become nothing more than nourishment for the devouring gold bugs. In a flash, the man-faced demon spider, at a speed visible to the naked eye, transformed from large to small, and then from small to nothing, completely devoured by the devouring gold bugs, not even a spirit ring remaining. Finally, all that was left was a spirit bone about the size of a palm, with 8 small 8 spider lances attached to it. 8 spider lances. Ning Chuan's eyes lit up. Without the slightest delay, he quickly took the spirit bone into his hand and put it into his waist spirit tool. Then, he hurriedly manipulated the devouring gold bugs to transform into a dazzling silver mist, swarming towards him. The man-faced demon spider's screams just now were not quiet, and Dragon Duke was following behind. He might have heard them. These devouring gold bugs served as a very good cover. There are few detached spirits on the Douluo Continent, and insect swarm spirits are almost non-existent. Moreover, Ning Chuan was still using his azure bamboo bee cloud sword spirit, so he didn't have to worry about arousing suspicion from the other party. In fact, Ning Chuan's worries were not unfounded. As Ning Chuan manipulated the insect swarm to rush towards him and desperately resist, 2 figures swiftly flashed out of the forest. The 2 spirit masters who arrived included one Ning Chuan recognized, the snake woman he had seen 2 days ago. The other was an old man who looked over 70, with 8 spirit rings, 2 yellow, 3 purple, and 3 black, circling his body. The dragon-headed staff in his hand was 4 meters long. He was Meng Yuren's grandfather, Dragon Duke Meng Shu. The 2 had only recently met. Just as Ning Chuan had thought, the snake woman came to find Dragon Duke after sending Meng Yuren out of the Stardew Great Forest. And Dragon Duke, after learning that his granddaughter had already obtained the phoenix-tailed crested serpent spirit ring, was also very happy. He had originally planned to give up the pursuit, but was attracted by the man-faced demon spider's screams. He happened to see Ning Chuan desperately resisting the insect swarm and couldn't help but show a surprised expression. Ning Chuan feigned not noticing them, swinging his sword to disperse the swarming insect swarm while fleeing in Tang San's direction. Diverting trouble, that's the trick Ning Chuan was playing. What kind of spirit beast is this? Looking at the devouring gold bug swarm that had devoured Ning Chuan's sword shield and couldn't even be harmed by sword Kai, Dragon Duke asked with some surprise. Although the snake woman didn't recognize the devouring gold bugs, she recognized Ning Chuan. Old man, this young man is one of Zhao Wuji's students. According to their previous conversation, Yuren's phoenix-tailed crested serpent was caught by this boy alone. It's him, Dragon Duke mused, muttering. This little fellow can send out Sword Kai with every move and has spirit power exceeding level 30. He's a good prospect. As for that man-faced demon spider, it was most likely devoured by these strange insect spirit beasts. The snake woman seemed to understand Dragon Duke's meaning, her eyes slightly brightening. What? Are you going to save him? How does that girl Urine feel about him? Dragon Duke asked in return. Recalling the bet proposed by that Shrek food system spirit master earlier, the snake woman's old face instantly bloomed into a chrysanthemum smile. Not bad. Hearing this, Dragon Duke no longer hesitated. He looked at the silver mist formed by the devouring gold bugs, a fierce glint flashing in his eyes. His fourth spirit ring lit up, and the dragon-headed staff in his hand emitted a red light, striking the silver mist. Immediately, the mist abruptly changed from silver to red, and in a flash, it burned fiercely, turning into extremely hot red flames. However, the next moment, something incredible happened to Dragon Duke and Snake Woman. The bugs in the dragon's breath not only weren't burned to ashes, but were instead lively and jumping. Even more incredibly, they were rapidly devouring the flames, and the red flames were completely consumed in an instant. Ning Chuan took the opportunity to escape the insect swarm's encirclement, and at the fastest speed, shot towards Tang San's direction. He also controlled the insect swarm to rush towards Dragon Duke and Snake Woman, chuckling inwardly. Devouring gold bugs are the least afraid of water and fire. What strange bugs. Old woman, you go chase that boy. Don't let him run away. I'll deal with these bugs. Dragon Duke said to the Snake Woman, then swung his dragon-headed staff and charged towards the bugs. The Snake Woman nodded, not worried that these bugs could pose a threat to her old man, and chased after Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan was less than 500 meters from Tang San's location. Even if the Snake Woman's speed was greater than Ning Chuan's, she couldn't catch him within 500 meters, let alone capture him. While rapidly moving, Ning Chuan didn't forget to pull out a powerful laxative from his spirit tool and put it into his mouth, transferring the side effect to Tang San. When Ning Chuan arrived, he happened to see Tang San squatting under a tree, freely spraying. At this moment, the Snake Woman also caught up and saw this extremely eye-searing scene. For a moment, the three looked at each other. Tang San instantly felt like dying, wishing he could find a hole to crawl into. Yet, his rear continued to spray non-stop. If he moved, he would probably immediately soil his pants. The Snake Woman, on the other hand, showed a look of disgust. She hadn't expected Shrek to be a hidden dragon and crouching tiger, bringing a group of genius students, only to have such a disgusting feces person appear. And for her to encounter him a second time, this day was truly awful. As for Ning Chuan, he covered his nose, transferring the side effect of nausea and wanting to vomit due to the smell to Tang San, while knowingly asking, Tang San, what are you doing here alone? What do you think? Tang San was so disgusted he was almost fainting, continuing to spray while asking back with a grim expression. I don't know. Ning Chuan feigned ignorance, shaking his head. Then, his eyes suddenly lit up and he bent down, asking in a low voice, You're here to poop, aren't you? At these words, Tang San was almost infuriated to the point of fainting. This was both from Ning Chuan's words and from the diarrhea. However, since the diarrhea was still ongoing, even if he wanted to faint, he didn't dare. He could only force himself to endure. Chapter 52 goal achieved at this moment, Snake Woman spoke, glancing at Tang San with clear disdain, then covering her nose and looking at Ning Chuan, saying, Little friend, we meet again. So it's Snake Woman Senior. I thought it was those spirit beasts chasing me again. Please forgive me, please forgive me. Ning Chuan cupped his fists towards her. No matter, but little friend, just now my old man blocked those dangerous spirit beasts for you, saving your life, yet you left without a word. That's not very kind. Snake Woman's eyes narrowed slightly. Ning Chuan's nonsense flowed out instantly. I was wondering why those swarms of bugs suddenly stopped chasing me. So it was Dragon Duke Sr. who intervened. I am extremely grateful. If there is a next life, I will surely work like an ox or a horse to repay Dragon Duke Sr.'s life-saving grace. PFFT. X2 Tang San and Snake Woman simultaneously made such strange sounds. The former was having diarrhea again, while the latter nearly spat out a mouthful of old blood. Working like an ox or a horse is one thing, but saying in the next life, isn't that taking advantage of an honest person? Little friend, are you joking with this old woman? Snake Woman could no longer hold back. Her snakehead cane struck the ground, emitting a roar as if an earthquake had occurred. Ning Chuan, having anticipated this, swung his sword to block. Tang San, however, was miserable. Still relieving himself, he was directly knocked over by Snake Woman's powerful spirit power. PFFT, PFFT, PFFT. Tang San wanted to get up, but he was already so weak from diarrhea that he couldn't exert an ounce of strength, and his rear was still continuously spraying. Just as Tang San was about to faint, a deep voice suddenly rang out. Snake Woman Sr., why are you making things difficult for my Shrek student? 5 figures quickly arrived, led by Zhao Wuji. Zhu Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar followed closely behind, all looking very tired. They had not stopped in their pursuit of Ning Chuan and Tang San. However, when they arrived, they just happened to see Tang San collapsed on the ground, spraying. Fortunately, Tang San was squatting behind a large tree. From Zhao Wuji's direction, they could only see the filth and smell the stench. Otherwise, it would have been an absolute eyesore. Even so, the 2 girls, Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong, were instantly disgusted. Ugh ugh. The 2 girls continuously gagged, while Ma Hongjun and Oscar wore expressions of schadenfreude. Ma Hongjun disliked Tang San to begin with and also saw that Tang San and Ning Chuan were at odds. Oscar, on the other hand, resented Tang San because he had lost his phoenix-tailed crested serpent spirit ring. Zhao Wuji frowned and asked, Ning Chuan, what exactly is going on? As for Snake Woman, knowing she was no match for Zhao Wuji, she had already flashed away to find Dragon Duke the moment Zhao Wuji's voice sounded. I don't know what happened either. Before, I was being chased by a group of spirit beasts and ran into Dragon Duke and Snake Woman. Dragon Duke got entangled with that group of spirit beasts, and then Snake Woman chased me here and happened to see Tang San pooping. According to Snake Woman, Dragon Duke saved me from that group of spirit beasts, and I need to repay them. Ning Chuan recounted the events in detail. Zhao Wuji was greatly surprised. What? Dragon Duke is also nearby. This is bad. Oscar, Ma Hongjun, quickly take Tang San and let's leave this place quickly. Hearing this, although both were disgusted by Tang San's smell and reluctant in their hearts, they dared not disobey Zhao Wuji's words. However, before they could act, Snake Woman had already returned, and with her was Dragon Duke. They had just used their martial soul fusion skill to instantly annihilate all the devouring gold bugs. Ning Chuan's mind was affected, but only for a moment before he transferred the side effect to Tang San. Tang San, already exhausted from diarrhea, could no longer hold on and directly fainted subscribe for more books' infinite novel audio. Before losing consciousness, he used the last bit of his strength to pull up his pants. Go where? Dragon Duke stared intently at everyone, his eyes full of coldness. Looking at the 2 who appeared, Zhao Wuji secretly smiled bitterly. His 7th spirit ability, Spirit Avatar, weakened his own attributes by 50% after each use and required 7 days to recover. He had already used it once not long ago. Now, with his combat power greatly reduced, let alone Dragon Duke, even Snake Woman was beyond his ability to handle. Junior Zhao Wuji greets Dragon Duke Sr. Dragon Duke didn't give Zhao Wuji a good look, glancing at him and saying, Zhao Wuji, you certainly teach good disciples. This old man saved his life, yet he didn't even say hello. Don't you think that's rude? Zhao Wuji said, Senior, you misunderstand. Ning Chuan has already explained the situation to this junior. He was being chased by that group of strange spirit beasts and was too busy to notice the 2 seniors helping him. Moreover, Although Ning Chuan is my Shrek student, he is not considered my disciple. His teacher is someone else." "Oh." Dragon Duke was a bit surprised. He had already witnessed Ning Chuan's strength before. Although he hadn't seen him use spirit ring abilities, at such a young age, he had already become a spirit elder and could even survive from that strange swarm of bugs that even he found somewhat troublesome. Then his teacher must be an extraordinary strong person. His surname is Ning. Could he be a disciple of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School? Dragon Duke immediately thought of Sword Douluo. In the current continent, the only one with such sharp sword skills was that Sword Douluo. Thinking of this, Dragon Duke and Snake Woman exchanged glances. They seemed to have communicated something telepathically, then looked at Ning Chuan and said, "All right, kid, considering you helped my granddaughter catch the phoenix-tailed crested serpent before, this old man will let you off today. But remember, this is only once. Next time, this old man will not show mercy. Also, please send my regards to your teacher." After speaking, the two turned and left. Ning Chuan, who is your teacher? Looking at him, he seemed very apprehensive, Ning Rongrong asked curiously. Originally, she had intended to use her identity as a princess of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. She didn't expect the other party to just leave like that, and it sounded as if it was because of Ning Chuan's teacher. Could Ning Chuan's teacher be a titled Douluo? The others also cast curious glances. "My teacher is just a head teacher at a junior spirit master academy. My surname is Ning, just like yours, so he probably mistook my teacher for your grandpa's sword." Ning Chuan felt this was the only explanation. As for whether Dragon Duke and Snake Woman would make things difficult for him, Ning Chuan had never worried about it. Not to mention the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School where Ning Rongrong was from, even the Dark Fragrance Sword family, which had several spirit Douluo guarding it, was not something the Dragon Snake family could provoke. If it came down to it, if he really angered them, he would just mess with their granddaughter, Meng Yuren, and see who would suffer more. Hearing this, everyone suddenly understood. Ning Rongrong, however, smiled. "It's just that you already have a teacher. Otherwise, I could have my grandpa's sword take you as a disciple. I believe he would be very happy to." "There's no need to take me as a disciple. If there's an opportunity in the future for him to give me some guidance on swordsmanship, that would be a great honor." Ning Chuan seized the opportunity to state his purpose. "All right, then leave it to me." Ning Rongrong patted her developing chest. Chapter 53. Poor Tang San. Zhao Wuji said. "All right, since Ning Chuan and Tang San have been found, let's leave this place quickly. This area is already closed to the activity zone of 10,000-year spirit beasts, and it's not a joke. As for Tang San's spirit ring, we can slowly search for it in the outer perimeter. As for Xiao Wu." At this point, Zhao Wuji fell silent, and everyone generally understood his meaning. Falling into the hands of the Titan giant ape, one could say the chance of survival was extremely slim. Ning Chuan, however, wasn't too worried, but he still pretended to be concerned about his companion. "Teacher Zhao, you take them and go first. No matter what, I won't give up searching for Xiao Wu, even if it's just to find her corpse." "Me too." X2, Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing also expressed their stance at the same time. "Me too." Well, at a crucial moment, Ma Hongjun still had some loyalty, as Ning Chuan had saved his life not long ago. Seeing that everyone else had raised their hands, Oscar reluctantly raised his hand as well. As for Tang San, he had fallen into a deep coma under the dual side effects of the laxative and Ning Chuan's devouring gold bug spirit being destroyed by the Dragon Duke and Snake Woman. "You all." Zhao Wuji looked at everyone helplessly and could only agree. Just then, a light footsteps attracted everyone's attention. "Who?" Zhao Wuji yelled sharply, and everyone simultaneously looked in the direction of the footsteps. They saw Xiao Wu running out of the forest. "Teacher Zhao." At this time, Xiao Wu looked a bit disheveled. Her neat scorpion braid was messy, and her clothes were torn in several places, but her body hadn't suffered any harm. Moreover, she had grown a bit taller, her chest and hips had become much fuller, and she looked much more mature overall. In reality, she had arrived much earlier, but she hadn't dared to show herself because the Dragon Duke was there. And Ning Chuan's words just now, she had clearly heard them. From the first day she met Ning Chuan, she knew that Ning Chuan was a cold outside, warm inside, kind-hearted person. He had given her the first blanket. Now, he was even insisting on finding her when Teacher Zhao wanted to give up on her. Thinking of this, Xiao Wu's gaze towards Ning Chuan couldn't help but redden slightly. If before, she was only grateful for the blanket Ning Chuan gave her and was smitten by his looks, then at this moment, she had truly, genuinely fallen in love with this man who was willing to give his life for her. Xiao Wu, so you're not dead. Oscar said something as unpleasant as in the original work. Xiao Wu snorted softly. You're the one who's dead. What's this smell? Oh my God, did little Black poop his pants again? Looking at Tang San lying in the feces, Xiao Wu felt a wave of disgust. The others also recalled it at this moment. There was also Tang San. Little Ao, Hongjun, take Tang San and leave quickly. Some spirit beasts are very interested in excrement. Zhao Wuji said to Ma Hongjun and Oscar, it was certainly impossible for the three girls to help Tang San. Ning Chuan was Shrek's most outstanding student, so it was also impossible to make him do it. Only Ma Hongjun and Oscar were left. Upon hearing this, Ma Hongjun and Oscar knew that they couldn't escape today. So they had to endure the nausea. Each grabbing Tang San's only non-feces-stained shoulder collar, dragging him along, since Ning Chuan and Tang San had been found. And even Xiao Wu had returned, everyone didn't rush anymore, just walked at a normal pace. As they walked, Zhao Wuji asked Xiao Wu how she had escaped from the Titan giant ape. Xiao Wu glanced at Ning Chuan and, with a hint of guilt, gave the same excuse as in the original work. Roughly, the Titan giant ape heard a bull's roar, went crazy, and put her down. Before leaving, it also shook to death, or knocked out dozens of spirit beasts. She had just broken through to level 30, so she hunted one of the unconscious 1,000-year spirit beasts and advanced to Spirit Elder. How to describe this excuse full of loopholes? It was only because the Shrek group had limited knowledge, otherwise, they definitely wouldn't have been fooled. At the same time, Xiao Wu also learned that, after she was taken away by the Titan giant ape, Ning Chuan immediately went to look for him, and for this, he even encountered an unknown spirit beast attack and almost lost his life. After knowing all this, Xiao Wu's heart went numb. Her gaze towards Ning Chuan was like silk. However, when she learned that Tang San had also gone after her, Xiao Wu felt nothing more than gratitude. After all, he was her elder brother, and he had promised to protect her. Seeing her being taken away, it was only natural for him to go look for her. Otherwise, why would he be her elder brother? Why would he say he wanted to protect her? Oscar saw all this and clicked his tongue inwardly. Poor Tang San. He doesn't even know he's been cuckolded, but what did it have to do with him? Not to mention that Tang San had lost his phoenix-tailed crested serpent. If he were to speak about Xiao Wu, it would only draw the animosity of everyone. After walking about 10 li along the outer perimeter of the Stardew Great Forest, everyone set up camp. Since the tents had been destroyed by the Titan giant ape, everyone had to make do with local materials, using trees from the Stardew Great Forest to build simple shelters. Just then, Tang San, who was in a dazed state, woke up. The first thing he did when he regained consciousness was to call out Xiao Wu's name. Xiao Wu! Xiao Wu! Tang San's voice immediately attracted everyone's attention, but he smelled too bad, and his pants were full of feces, so no one was willing to get close to him. Black bro, I'm back. Xiao Wu, out of consideration for him being her elder brother, replied comfortingly. The clear voice made Tang San's body tremble. This voice was too longed for him. Subconsciously, he looked in the direction of the voice and saw Xiao Wu covering her nose, standing far away. Xiao Wu, I'm not dreaming, am I? It's really you, really you. Tang San got up, wanting to hug Xiao Wu, to hug the girl he cherished most in this world, even using Ghost Shadow perplexing track for it. However, before he could get close, yellow, and purple spirit rings flashed out from Xiao Wu. As she completed her spirit possession, her third spirit ring lit up, and she instantly disappeared from her original spot, reappearing beside Ning Chuan, who was building a wooden house. Tang San thought he was dreaming and fell into great sorrow again. Fortunately, Xiao Wu's voice rang out again. "Black bro, you should hurry and take a bath and change your clothes and pants. There's a river nearby." And how many times have I said it? Men and women shouldn't touch each other intimately. We can't hug. The phrase men and women shouldn't touch each other intimately was something Ning Chuan said on the first day at Noting Academy when he refused to share a blanket with Xiao Wu, and she remembered it. Of course, it was also because Tang San was too ugly. If it were Ning Chuan, there would be no such thing as men and women shouldn't touch each other intimately. Upon hearing this, Tang San finally recalled the scene of his 2 consecutive bouts of diarrhea earlier. His old face instantly flushed red, and he changed the subject, saying, "Xiao Wu, was that your spirit ability just now? Hurry up and take a bath and change your clothes, you stink," Xiao Wu said disdainfully. Hearing Xiao Wu say he stank, Tang San's old face flushed even more. Coupled with his original skin tone, he appeared blackish red in the night. He then quickly ran towards the nearby river. Chapter 54, looking up at the stars at the same time, Tang San's heart was almost bursting with hatred for the dragon-serpent family. Meng Yuren and Snake Woman, one of them caused him to lose the phoenix-tailed crested serpent, making him lose face in front of Xiao Wu. The other attacked him while he was having diarrhea. It was simply a death wish. And Ning Chuan, that fellow, actually brought Snake Woman to him, which was an unforgivable sin. By the time Tang San returned to the camp, the makeshift shelters had already been set up. There was one room for males and one for females. It was Ma Hongzhen's turn to stand guard. Also, although Tang San had cleaned himself, being with him would inevitably remind Ning Chuan of the scene of his rampant spraying. So, uncharacteristically, he didn't continue cultivating. After all, the goal of intercepting the 8 spider lances had been achieved. He got up and walked out of the shelter, and after greeting Ma Hongzhen under his meaningful gaze, Ning Chuan left the camp and walked towards the outer perimeter, intending to get some fresh air. The night in the Stardew Great Forest was quiet and cool, which Ning Chuan thought would calm his mind, but the reality was not so. The roaring wind whistled past, and just hearing the rustling of leaves made Ning Chuan frown. Could it be a spirit beast attack? Ning Chuan vigilantly looked around, and there was a faint figure among the trees. It was a long-haired woman standing among the trees. The surreal scene made Ning Chuan have the illusion of seeing an elf. Under the soft moonlight, her snow-white skin glowed faintly, and whenever a gentle breeze blew, her long hair danced with it. The girl, like an elf, bathed in the moonlight, her face filled with an indescribable melancholy and sadness, as if she were a helpless elf lost in the forest. "Who is it?" Noticing the footsteps, Zhu Zhuqing spoke in her usual voice. With the Hell Sivet spirit, her eyesight was far superior to ordinary people, and her hearing was equally sensitive. She could tell that this was not the sound of a spirit beast. "It's me. Who are you?" Zhu Zhuqing asked, tilting her head. "Why ask twice? We've known each other for a while now, haven't we?" Ning Chuan was speechless. He hadn't expected the usually cold little cat to have such a dark side, but perhaps this was her true self. Zhu Zhuqing let out an "oh," then averted her gaze. She looked up at the night sky, and Ning Chuan followed her gaze. The sky was filled with stars tonight. "Are you out to watch the stars?" Ning Chuan roughly guessed what was happening. After all, he was the culprit who made Dai Mubai look like that. But he still asked knowingly. But then again, in places with less light pollution, the stars appear brighter, so the night sky of the Stardew Great Forest could be said to be the most spectacular. It was as if the Milky Way was within reach. "Not exactly," Zhu Zhuqing sighed with a hint of melancholy. "Dai Mubai and I have an engagement." She hung her head in frustration. Ning Chuan was a little surprised. He hadn't expected Zhu Zhuqing to confess this to him so quickly. This time, coming to Shrek Academy was to find him. And then Dai Mubai became a playboy, not even bothering to cultivate, indulging in women all day, which greatly disappointed you. So you ran out alone to get some fresh air out of frustration. Ning Chuan showed no surprise at all. That's right, I didn't expect him to turn out like this. Subscribe for more books, Infinite Novel Audio. As Zhu Zhuqing said this, she looked down and kicked at the loose stones by her feet. You are excellent and will have a bright future. It's highly possible you'll even become a titled Douluo. In short, compared to me, Xiao Wu is more suitable for you. Why do you think that? Ning Chuan frowned. Xiao Wu likes you, I can tell. So that's why. Ning Chuan suddenly understood and said without hesitation, but I don't like Xiao Wu. I don't have those kinds of feelings for her. You should be able to tell that too. Even now, he hadn't given up on obtaining Xiao Wu's spirit ring and spirit bone. Ning Chuan was a greedy and selfish person. He wanted both Xiao Wu's spirit ring and spirit bone, as well as Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing smoothed her hair and changed the subject. It's getting late. Let's get some rest. Tomorrow, we still need to go deeper into the Stardew Great Forest, to a more dangerous place, to obtain a spirit ring for Tangsan. As she spoke, Zhu Zhuqing wanted to walk towards the camp, but Ning Chuan's next words made her stop. Dai Mubai, the imperial prince of the Star Luo Empire, you were betrothed to him since childhood because the Dai family's white tiger spirit and the Zhu family's Hell Civet spirit can unleash the martial soul fusion skill, Hell White Tiger. Zhu Zhuqing looked a little lonely, turning back to Ning Chuan and asking, "When did you know?" "Just now." Ning Chuan spoke nonsense with a straight face. The White Tiger is the inherited spirit of the Star Luo Empire's imperial family, and the Hell Civet is the inherited spirit of the Zhu family, the Duke of Hell's mansion in the Star Luo Empire. At first, I didn't think of this, but you just told me that you and Dai Mubai were engaged since childhood, and Dai Mubai, a frequent visitor to the Red Light District, isn't your type. It's hard not to associate this with your Star Luo Empire's disgusting system for selecting heirs. You really are as clever as ever. As Zhu Zhuqing said this, she continued to kick at the loose stones by her feet. I suppose you should also know why we can't be together. But so what? Ning Chuan had never taken the threat of the Star Luo Empire seriously. By the time they found out, he would already be capable of protecting himself. Now, the key was Little Cat's choice. You might not know what that means. Zhu Zhuqing prevaricated. Her words about to come out were covered by the sounds of the forest. Then a moment of silence fell. This silence only lasted for an instant before Ning Chuan spoke. If you're talking about being hunted by the Star Luo Empire, then you don't have to worry. Zhu Zhuqing seemed to know what Ning Chuan was about to say and interrupted him. All right, it's getting late. Let's go back and rest quickly. As she spoke, Zhu Zhuqing continued walking towards the camp. Her steps were very heavy. While adjusting the strands of hair blown by the breeze, she paced back and forth melancholically, seemingly undecided whether to return to the camp or stay. Her appearance was completely different from her usual heroic and cold demeanor. She walked very slowly, but Ning Chuan took 2 steps at a time and quickly caught up. He said something that surprised Little Cat. Actually, as early as the 2nd day of joining Shrek Academy, I knew this was just a superficial, fake academy. There's no simulated environment, the teaching quality is poor, and the curriculum only involves having students participate in spirit arena matches. It's a fraudulent academy that only recruits exceptionally talented spirit masters. If they succeed, it's attributed to Shrek Academy's credit. If they don't, it's because they are useless. Chapter 55, Take Down the Kitten Yet. The teaching standards are abysmal. Anyone who can join Shrek and pass the so-called 4th assessment, besides me, has a minimum innate spirit power of no less than rank 7. But out of more than 60 people, only a mere 10 or so broke through rank 40 before the age of 20. The others either faded into obscurity or died. They even spout nonsense, claiming that among the students who graduated from Shrek Academy, the strongest has become an elder of Spirit Hall. They don't even consider what level of existence the elders of Spirit Hall are. However, on that very day, I abandoned the idea of leaving Shrek. Zhu Zhuqing had been listening to these words, not quite understanding, but the words that followed made Zhu Zhuqing stop abruptly. I don't have a way to maintain our connection. What? She turned her head, looking at Ning Chuan with a shocked expression, her slightly open mouth clearly revealing her confusion. Ning Chuan began to unleash his big move. If we leave Shrek Academy, there will be no connection between us anymore. I can't think of any other excuse to keep you close. Why would you do that? We just met not long ago. Zhu Zhuqing stood blankly in place, the moonlight spilling from the sky illuminating her face. It revealed her biting her lip lightly. Whether it's love at first sight or lust at first sight, probably. In any case, I won't let go. In that case, you wouldn't need to do something so specific to achieve it, right? After speaking, Zhu Zhuqing seemed to want to end the topic, as if waving goodbye to the past, and stepped forward. Her feigned strength made her appear adorable, a stark contrast to her usual cold demeanor. Ning Chuan knew he had largely succeeded, but if he let go now, his little cat would likely be completely out of his reach in the future. Although it's not pleasant to say this, you are burdened with a destiny that shouldn't be yours. Once we pull apart, let alone getting closer, I dare say we'll only grow further and further apart. So, Ning Chuan followed a few steps behind Zhu Zhuqing, watching her gradually receding figure, and unhesitatingly reached out his hand. If I let go, I won't be able to catch you again. His little cat's surprisingly slender wrist was enveloped in his palm. His little cat trembled in fright, stopping her steps, looking back and forth at Ning Chuan and her hand in surprise. Although saying this is very embarrassing, and I feel very ashamed right now, however. Don't let Ning Chuan's usual confident demeanor, as if he's about to marry a rich and beautiful woman and reach the pinnacle of life, deceive you. After all, it was his first time pursuing a girl. After these words left his mouth, what followed was a deep sigh. His little cat awkwardly squirmed, seemingly offering slight resistance to see if Ning Chuan would let go. She looked like a cat that didn't want its paw pads to touch water, but Ning Chuan never let go. This simultaneously startled his little cat and made her secretly sigh in relief. Saying I'll be responsible isn't enough. That's not an obligation. Rather than saying I want to take responsibility, I'd prefer you to let me be responsible, to let us face it together. After saying this, Ning Chuan felt disgusted with himself. Wasn't this just a cheesy pickup line from his previous life? However, it was still very effective on his little cat. Ning Chuan's grip on his little cat's hand gradually loosened. His little cat did not run away but remained in place, holding the spot where he had just held her. Although she still refused to look at him, she at least seemed willing to listen to him. For this, Ning Chuan knew he needed to add a little more fuel to the fire. He began his most practiced payoe. Perhaps you don't wish for it, but I still want to continue to stay in contact with you, not based on obligation, but on personal will. So give me the right to twist your life. Ning Chuan spoke with rising and falling intonation. During this time, his little cat did not interrupt again. She just stared at the wrist Ning Chuan had held. Nearby, there was only the rustling of leaves and the whistling of the cool wind. She suddenly spoke, glancing at Ning Chuan. What do you mean by twist? What do you mean by that sentence? My strength isn't great enough to change someone else's life. Later, I'll probably travel the continent, living a life constantly on the edge. If you get involved with me, you might encounter various dangers, causing your life's trajectory to change. So your life might be a bit twisted. Subscribe for more books, Infinite Novel Audio. Ning Chuan's words made his little cat reveal a slightly melancholic smile. She opened her mouth slightly, as if she wanted to say something for a moment, but immediately swallowed it back with the air. Then, she adopted a glaring gaze, staring at Ning Chuan, and with a trembling voice, squeezed out words that were most likely not what she originally intended to say. "That's not fair. My future and the destiny I bear aren't worth you going to that extent. You have even more." Her tear-filled eyes lowered their gaze. The moment his little cat's voice broke off, Ning Chuan, however, raised one corner of his mouth, revealing a successful smile. "Then I'm relieved. I'm just a useless spirit with only half a rank of innate spirit power without parents. So far, my life hasn't had much value, and there's no more room for it to depreciate. In a sense, it can even guarantee no loss. Buying in now is a guaranteed profit. What kind of twisted logic is that? It's truly rotten." His little cat looked at Ning Chuan with a half-crying, half-smiling expression, took a step closer, tapped Ning Chuan's chest, then raised her gaze, waiting for him with tear-filled, autumn-water eyes. "Why do you keep saying irrelevant things? There are other things you could say, right? You weren't like this in the Great Spirit Arena before." Ning Chuan smiled wryly. "In this kind of situation, how could I easily say those kinds of words?" His little cat said seriously. "I think I am a very troublesome person, and I will only bring you disaster." "I know." Ning Chuan said indifferently. "I will constantly bring you threats. It's not like it's a 1 or 2 day thing. That guy Dai Mubai, he practically wants to kill me now. Stubborn and not cute. Yes, always so cold. Can't you deny it? Don't force me. I've been hunted by my sister more than once. If we're together, the Star Luo imperial family will also send assassins. It will become increasingly dangerous. As long as I become stronger and stronger, that's fine. When the people of the Star Luo Empire come, I'll fight them, and then there won't be any danger." Ning Chuan didn't believe that Zhu Jian truly wanted to kill Zhu Zhuqing. It was more about putting pressure on her, forcing her to leave. Otherwise, how could Zhu Zhuqing, a mere spirit grandmaster, still be safe and sound to this day? And it doesn't matter. Ning Chuan interrupted Zhu Zhuqing, who was still searching for words. "No matter how difficult, how thorny, how dangerous it is, it doesn't matter. I will face it with you." "What is this? It doesn't make anyone happy at all." Zhu Zhuqing lowered her head and punched Ning Chuan's chest again. Chapter 56, Taking Advantage of Tang San Pain. It didn't hurt at all, but Ning Chuan still pretended to be in pain. Zhu Zhuqing pouted as if throwing a tantrum. "There must be something else. Your personality is too difficult. Sometimes I don't understand you, and it even makes me unhappy. But these things can't be helped. After all, I'm not much better. Even if there are complaints, I can probably still accept them." The moment the words left her mouth, she silently punched him again. Ning Chuan willingly accepted it, gently holding her slender hand. "Although it's a bit presumptuous, please entrust your life to me. Of course, this is entirely my own decision, so you don't have to answer." "No, I will speak clearly." Little Cat leaned her forehead gently against Ning Chuan's shoulder. "Please also entrust your life to me." "So heavy." Ning Chuan sighed, and Zhu Zhuqing bumped him with her forehead again in protest. "What can I do? I really can't say such embarrassing words." Zhu Zhuqing, like a little cat, bumped Ning Chuan with her forehead and gently tugged at his collar, acting spoiled. Ning Chuan smiled, a genuine smile, although a large part of it was due to the little cat clinging to him. It had to be said that having a girlfriend who truly loved him was indeed a beautiful thing. Just as the two were immersed in their affections, a spirit beast's roar came from the direction of the camp. Ning Chuan and Zhu Zhuqing exchanged glances, and both simultaneously darted towards the camp. By the time they arrived, Zhao Wuji and the others had already subdued a pure black, six-legged spider-type spirit beast, much smaller than the 2,000-year-old man-faced demon spider. Black Widow. Ning Chuan called out the name of this spirit beast. Like the man-faced demon spider, the Black Widow was also a spider-type spirit beast. Although it didn't possess the powerful corrosive toxicity of the man-faced demon spider, it was unique in its web weaving, unlike the man-faced demon spider, which had a limited number of uses. Zhao Wuji laughed heartily from the side. "Haha, I didn't expect such good luck. To think a 1,000-year-old Black Widow would stumble into our camp. Tang-san, you don't need to look for your spirit ring anymore. Tang-san nodded. Although it wasn't as ideal as the man-faced demon spider his grandmaster had hoped for, it wasn't bad either. Xiao Wu, however, frowned. But this Black Widow's cultivation exceeds 2,000 years. If Little Black absorbs it rashly, he will explode and die. Zhao Wuji was stunned. How do you know this Black Widow's age? Xiao Wu realized she had misspoken, and Ning Chuan took over the conversation. The cultivation of a spider-type spirit beast can be determined by the length of its legs. For example, the man-faced demon spider, with legs over 3 meters long, is a sign of being over 2,000 years old. For a Black Widow, it's 2.5 meters. The Black Widow in front of us has legs around 2.5 meters long, so even if it hasn't reached 2,000 years, it's not far off. These were all things Ning Chuan had read in the Dark Fragrance Sword family's library, but the appearance of this Black Widow was beyond Ning Chuan's expectation. Could it be that what the fanfiction from his previous life said was true? Was there really a saying that Tang-san was an artificial son of fortune? First, the man-faced demon spider, despite his interference, still crashed towards Tang-san, and after being intercepted, a Black Widow appeared. However, this Black Widow was clearly much weaker than the man-faced demon spider. Even if Tang-san was truly an artificial son of fortune, it seemed now that this fortune was not immutable. Once intercepted, it would be significantly weakened. Thinking of this, he put on a look of concern for Tang-san. Tang-san, it's best not to rashly absorb this Black Widow spirit ring. It's already extremely rare for a spirit master's third spirit ring to exceed 1,500 years, and those over 1,700 years are even more scarce. Even the chicken-crested serpent we hunted for Little Owl not long ago was only around 1,300 years. It's truly too dangerous for you to absorb this Black Widow spirit ring. After a period of interaction, everyone had long recognized Ning Chuan as a theoretical grandmaster. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for him to cultivate from half a level of innate spirit power to his current state. Therefore, they all believed Ning Chuan's words without a doubt. Zhao Wuji echoed, Ning Chuan is right. Tang-san, I will find other spirit beasts for you after dawn. Tang-san, however, shook his head. No, Teacher Zhao, I want to absorb it. Absorbing a spirit ring beyond one's limit, since Ning Chuan could do it, he believed he could too. Zhao Wuji sternly refused. Ning Chuan is different from you. You've seen his physical constitution. It's not something you can compare to. If something happens to you, I won't be able to explain it. He didn't want Tang Hao to come knocking on his door if something happened to Tang-san. By then, it wouldn't be as simple as just a beating. Tang-san still insisted. Teacher Zhao, I beg you, please believe me. I've been blacksmithing since I was young, so my physical constitution isn't bad. He yearned to become stronger so much. Every time he recalled the feeling of helplessness when Xiao Wu was captured by the Titan giant ape, he wished he could absorb this spirit ring immediately. No, even if you talk until the sky falls today, I will not agree to let you absorb this spirit ring. Since you are a Shrek student, then I must be responsible for your life. The result was without a doubt. Zhao Wuji refused again. After all, Zhao Wuji would not joke with his own life, but Tang-san seemed to have a vendetta against this Black Widow. From his spirit tool, he took out a short knife and held it to his neck. Teacher Zhao, please don't force me. As he spoke, he plunged the short knife into his flesh, and a trickle of blood slid down his short, thick, and dark neck. You, Sai, you child, why are you so stubborn? Absorb it then. I hope your choice is the right one. Zhao Wuji, unable to withstand his stubbornness, sighed and agreed. Ning Chuan, however, sneered inwardly. Taking advantage of the moment, when Tang-san took out the short knife and attracted everyone's attention, and under the cover of night, he once again pulled out a powerful laxative. To make the medicine take effect faster and cause Tang-san to lose this spirit ring, he even took 2 pills at once. Enough to make him faint from diarrhea. As soon as Tang-san used the short knife to stab the Black Widow's eye and kill it, he immediately felt a churning in his stomach. Poof. Immediately after, a deadly FRT was let out. Ning Chuan, quick-witted, immediately pulled Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong, who were closest to him, away, while shouting, "It's a FRT! Everyone, retreat quickly!" Zhao Wuji reacted in time, immediately retreating several feet away from Tang San. Xiao Wu, on the other hand, used her third spirit ability, teleportation, to move beside Ning Chuan. But Ma Hongjun and Oscar were not so lucky. They were almost suffocated by the stench. "Ah, it stinks so much. Tang San, what did you eat? Damn it, I can't stand it." "Little Ao, quickly give me an antidote sausage." The two cried out in disgust. As for Tang San, he couldn't care less about anything else. He didn't care about being embarrassed or losing face, nor did he care about the Black Widow spirit ring. He stepped on Ghost Shadow perplexing track, and with a flicker of his figure, he vanished into the jungle. Chapter 57 Return. An hour later, the Black Widow's spirit ring dissipated its energy because no one absorbed it. Tang San still hadn't returned. Everyone could only faintly hear the sounds of explosive diarrhea and Tang San's exhausted, weak voice coming from the jungle. "Teacher Zhao, it seems Tang San won't be done anytime soon. Leaving this Black Widow's corpse here might attract spirit beasts, so I'll go throw it out." Ning Chuan wanted to see if this Black Widow could also drop a spirit bone. It'll be dawn in 2 hours. Hongjun, continue keeping watch. Little Ao, give me a few sausages. I'll go check on Tang San. Don't let anything else happen to him. The rest of you go rest. Zhao Wuji nodded, and at the same time he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. It was fortunate that Tang San had diarrhea again at the crucial moment. Otherwise, if he had absorbed this Black Widow's spirit ring and something went wrong, he really wouldn't know how to explain it to Tang Hao. A moment later, Ning Chuan took the Black Widow's corpse to the jungle several thousand meters away, and Zhu Zhuqing also followed. In front of her, Ning Chuan didn't hide his second spirit. He released the devouring gold bugs, and in the blink of an eye, the Black Widow's corpse was enveloped by a faint silver glow, shrinking at a visible speed. "This is..." Zhu Zhuqing looked at Ning Chuan in surprise. "This is my second spirit. I named it Devouring Gold Bugs." In front of Little Cat, there was no need for Ning Chuan to hide his second spirit. Little Cat was greatly astonished. "So you have twin spirits?" Ning Chuan nodded, teasing, "Speaking of which, you're the first to know I have a second spirit. Even my teacher doesn't know yet." Ning Chuan's sudden words made Little Cat's pretty face flush. Before she could reply, an even more astonishing scene appeared before her. The Black Widow's corpse, after being devoured by the devouring gold bugs, burst forth with a brilliant black light. As the black light receded, it revealed a palm-sized, small spirit bone with 6 spider lances. "Quickly put it away." Ning Chuan was quick-witted, immediately collecting it and stuffing it into Little Cat's spirit tool. Was that a spirit bone just now? Little Cat knew what this meant, so she lowered her voice. While putting away his devouring gold bug spirit, Ning Chuan wrapped his arm around Zhu Zhuqing's waist and whispered into her ear. "To be precise, it's an external spirit bone, an existence even more precious than the 6 body spirit bones. It can continuously grow stronger as the user's strength increases. To some extent, its value even surpasses that of a 100,000-year spirit bone. However, before you completely fuse with this spirit bone, you must never expose it to others. Otherwise, it will invite murder and treasure snatching. An external spirit bone can be stripped away before it's fully integrated with the body." Ning Chuan's breath on Zhu Zhuqing's earlobe made her small face flush. At the same time, she understood the importance of this spirit bone and said without hesitation, "Ning Chuan, you should keep this spirit bone. Compared to me, this item is more suitable for you." Ning Chuan didn't tell her he already had 8 spider lances. "Silly girl, what's suitable or not suitable? What's mine isn't yours. Besides, you're very clear about my strength. This spirit bone won't be of much help to me. After all, external spirit bones are inherently precious." Giving her something he didn't have would better demonstrate his love for her, wouldn't it? As for the 8 spider lances, he'd find another opportunity to tell her later. Sure enough, after Zhu Zhuqing heard him, her heart melted. She slowly leaned into Ning Chuan's embrace and, with a soft, sweet voice, whispered in his ear, "I won't hold you back." After speaking, Zhu Zhuqing secretly kissed Ning Chuan's face, then ran off without looking back, heading towards the camp. Perhaps it was due to shyness, she even activated her spirit. Looking at Little Cat's cute and charming embarrassed figure, Ning Chuan smiled slightly, gently touched the cheek Little Cat had kissed, and a faint smile appeared on his face. At the same time, he took out the remaining 6 powerful laxatives from his spirit tool. And in his heart, he began to anticipate whether Tang San could bring him more surprises next. The next morning, everyone set off to hunt for a spirit ring for Tang San. Despite Oscar's recovery sausage, Tang San's complexion was still very pale due to being too exhausted from diarrhea last night. Fortunately, as they delved deeper into the Stardew Great Forest, there were many more thousand-year spirit beasts. That afternoon, they found another 2,000-year-old spider-type spirit beast, an underground devil spider. The result was still the same. Ning Chuan resumed his old trick of administering laxatives, wasting the spirit ring. However, this underground devil spider did not drop a spirit bone this time. The next day, everyone encountered another pink lady. The result was still no spirit bone drop. Seeing that Tang San's wool had been completely shorn, Ning Chuan finally let him go. Finally, under Tang San's threat of death, Zhao Wuji, unable to resist Tang San's stubbornness, found him another ordinary spider-type spirit beast of about 1,900 years, allowing him to absorb it and obtain a spider web restraint skill, just like in the original work. It just didn't have an external spirit bone, and this spider web restraint didn't have the corrosive poison of the man-faced demon spider. Although it could be cast instantly, it couldn't increase the spider web's coverage area with cultivation improvement like the man-faced demon spider's spirit ring. Thus, the trip to the Stardew Great Forest was considered a complete success. Everyone walked out of the Stardew Great Forest. Once outside the forest, a smile finally appeared on Zhao Wuji's face. After another stretch, we'll reach the town. We'll rest there and then depart 2 days later. Ning Rongrong suggested, "Teacher Zhao, this time we owe a lot to you and Ning Chuan. If it weren't for the 2 of you, I'm afraid we wouldn't have made it out of the Stardew Great Forest alive. When we get to town later, I'll treat everyone to drinks." Zhao Wuji laughed heartily. "Rongrong, I know you. The 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School's little princess are rich, but I can hold my liquor very well. Don't feel bad later." Ning Rongrong giggled. "Teacher Zhao, just drink your fill. It doesn't matter even if you drink all the wine in the entire town." Saying that, she looked at Zhu Zhuqing, who was walking very close to Ning Chuan with a half-smile. It seemed that ever since the Black Widow incident, the 2 of them had started walking very, very close, almost inseparable. Even when it came to discarding spirit beast corpses, Zhu Zhuqing would follow to help. Without a doubt, Ning Chuan had already won over Zhu Zhuqing. And Xiao Wu, who already had a great impression of Ning Chuan after the Titan giant ape incident, Ning Rongrong felt that the way she looked at Ning Chuan was almost pulling silk, infatuated. It was Tang San, that annoying guy, who was still completely in the dark. Thinking of this, as her inner gossip demon ignited, she couldn't help but feel a strange sense of irritation. She quickly walked in front of Ning Chuan and turned around. Zhu Zhuqing showed a surprised look when Ning Rongrong unexpectedly walked in front of Ning Chuan. Xiao Wu noticed Ning Rongrong and also looked up in confusion. Everyone else also looked over. Under the gaze of several pairs of eyes, Ning Rongrong remained unfazed. She leaned her upper body slightly forward, and as she backed away, she casually murmured, "Speaking of which, Ning Chuan, have you and Zhuqing started dating?" Subscribe for more audiobooks. Douluo Fanfic Chapter 58. It's the day of the White Album again. Her tone sounded like just an ordinary, common question. However, it caused a huge stir in everyone's hearts. Zhu Zhuqing's cheeks flushed red as she averted her gaze. Ma Hongjun nodded continuously with great interest, and Zhao Wuji showed a doting, ant-like smile. On the other hand, Tang Xin looked at Ning Chuan with an expectant expression, and so did Oscar. As for Xiao Wu, her hands trembled slightly at this moment. While waving her hands, she feigned composure and denied, "How is that possible? They've only known each other for so long. How could they be dating? Little Six, it's okay. And Zhuking, quickly tell her that you are not dating." As she spoke, Xiao Wu's two watery eyes had already turned red without her realizing it. In fact, not only Ning Rongrong had noticed, but Xiao Wu, who had always been paying attention to Ning Chuan, had also sensed it, but she had been comforting herself internally. Ning Chuan is a blockhead. He wouldn't fall in love so early. But Ning Chuan's answer that followed made her eyes completely tear up. "No, Zhuking and I are indeed already dating." Ning Chuan held Zhu Zhuking's hand and admitted it openly and generously. Since he had confirmed his relationship with Little Cat, he naturally wouldn't hesitate anymore. What's more, Shrek still had 2 spirit saints and several spirit emperors protecting them, so the Star Luo Empire's reach couldn't extend here. Dai Mubai was so afraid of death that even if he knew Ning Chuan and Zhu Zhuking were together, he wouldn't dare to betray them, because that would mean directly losing his competitive qualification. If the other party was determined to go down with him, Ning Chuan could also secretly follow and eliminate him. Compared to the Star Luo Empire, Tang Rishan's threat was greater. Didn't you see Xiao Wu's gaze at him already starting to get stringy? If Tang Rishan found out, he would probably secretly capture and take Xiao Wu away. This was definitely not what Ning Chuan wanted to see. Additionally, his current cultivation still relied on Tang Rishan as a power bank. Therefore, announcing his relationship with Zhu Zhuking at this moment was undoubtedly the best choice. Zhu Zhuking knew Xiao Wu liked Ning Chuan. She gave her an apologetic look and softly uttered 2 words, "I'm sorry." However, she did not let go of Ning Chuan's hand. Instead, she raised her other hand and wrapped it around Ning Chuan's arm. "So that's how it is. Then congratulations. I didn't notice it at all before. I always thought Little Six was a blockhead, you know. After all, Little Six, you never knew how to please girls. When we first met at Noding Academy to make me your boss, you called me Sister Wu and even beat me up. Although we made up afterward, you were always cold and only knew how to cultivate all day. Except for at night, you were basically nowhere to be seen. When I talked to you, you would just give perfunctory replies and then continue cultivating and meditating to improve your spirit power. I could only secretly follow you when you were cultivating, but I was afraid of disturbing you, so I just watched from afar." As she spoke, Xiao Wu recounted her experiences with Ning Chuan over the years, from their first meeting in Nuoding City, their fight, to Ning Chuan's cultivation while she watched from afar. Finally, after she was captured by the Titan giant ape, Ning Chuan rushed to save her regardless of his own safety. But why? Why did it turn out like this? Whether it's knowing you or liking you, I was clearly first, I was first. Xiao Wu didn't have the courage to say the last sentence. As she spoke, Xiao Wu's tears could no longer be held back and streamed down. At this moment, everyone also stopped in their tracks, looking at her with blank and astonished eyes, because Xiao Wu's words were almost tantamount to a confession. Although everyone more or less saw that Xiao Wu had a tiny bit of affection for Ning Chuan in their hearts, they never expected that Xiao Wu had already fallen for Ning Chuan from that time. Oscar gave Ning Chuan a thumbs up in his heart. This way, Ning Chuan would be completely unable to threaten his relationship with Ning Rongrong. As for Tang San, upon hearing Ning Chuan's anticipated answer, he should have been happy, but his mood was not as joyful as he had imagined, because the girl he cherished most in his heart, Xiao Wu, was crying very sadly and miserably. This was absolutely intolerable for him. He had sworn that he would never let Xiao Wu be harmed, unless they stepped over his corpse. Subscribe for more books, Infinite Novel Audio. But at this moment, Ning Chuan had clearly hurt Xiao Wu. Even if this harm was what he wanted and hoped to see, Xiao Wu was still hurt. Ning Chuan, you bastard, how dare you hurt Xiao Wu? You are clearly courting death. Thinking of this, Tang San's expression towards Ning Chuan began to turn dangerous. His eyes became bloodshot, and his breathing was heavy like an ox. Ning Rongrong, who learned that Ning Chuan was already dating Zhu Zhuking, was also in no better mood. Although not as distressed as Xiao Wu, recalling the scene where Ning Chuan saved her from the Titan giant ape earlier, her heart inexplicably ached, her nose began to sting, and her throat choked up. This feeling was very unpleasant. Xiao Wu, you. Her gaze towards Xiao Wu was filled with heartache. She didn't know if she was feeling sorry for herself or for Xiao Wu. Sorry. I didn't realize I said too much. Everyone, let's continue on our way, otherwise we won't make it to the town before dark. Xiao Wu wiped away her tears. Seeing Tang San's bloodshot eyes and heavy breathing, she worried that he would fight Ning Chuan for her sake, thus harming Ning Chuan. After all, Tang San's hidden weapons were hard to guard against, and Ning Chuan could very likely get injured if he wasn't careful. So she said, "Black bro, let's go." Okay. Tang San silently followed behind Xiao Wu, his head half lowered, his eyes obscured by shadow. At this moment, the most important thing was to comfort Xiao Wu. As for Ning Chuan, it wouldn't be too late to find an opportunity to get revenge on him after returning to the academy. Following closely, Oscar, Ma Hongjun, and Zhao Wuji also followed. Ning Rongrong gave Ning Chuan a complicated look and also followed. Only Ning Chuan and Zhu Zhuking remained in place. Ning Chuan, Xiao Wu, Zhu Zhuking felt very uncomfortable. After hearing Xiao Wu's words, at this very moment, a silent sense of guilt arose in her heart, as if she were a third party who had stolen Xiao Wu's beloved. This has nothing to do with you. There are many people in this world who like me. After all, I, a certain Ning, have both looks and strength. I can't possibly respond to everyone who likes me, right? After all, it's always been their unrequited love from beginning to end. Ning Chuan spoke in a feigned, relaxed tone, but Xiao Wu's words had indeed touched him quite a bit. Before this, he had always treated Xiao Wu as a backup spirit ring. Now, after hearing her words, he genuinely felt a little reluctant. Alas, I am still too kind. Ning Chuan sighed in his heart. Yes, 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 you are the most handsome and most amazing, and all the girls in the world like you. Zhu Zhuking let out a giggle, unable to hold back her laughter. Her small head slowly leaned against Ning Chuan's shoulder. Her smile quickly faded, because she could tell that Ning Chuan was feigning relaxation, thinking he was blaming himself for Xiao Wu's matter. Immediately, she felt even more heartache, but this time it wasn't for Xiao Wu, but for Ning Chuan. The two of them leaned against each other like this and slowly walked towards the town. Chapter 59, Anal is coming that afternoon. Everyone rested in the town. However, because of Xiao Wu's matter, there was no longer the previous joy. While Zhao Wuji, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar were drinking and having fun, Ning Chuan, Zhu Zhuking, Ning Rongrong, Xiao Wu, and Tang San were all meditating and cultivating to increase their spirit power. The Shrek crowd had long been accustomed to Ning Chuan and Zhu Zhuking. After all, they had always been the most diligent cultivators in Shrek. Tang San could barely understand. He was the third most diligent person in Shrek. But Xiao Wu and Ning Rongrong, the three of Zhao Wuji, did not quite understand. Ever since they learned that Ning Chuan was already dating Zhu Zhuking, they seemed to have changed into different people. Except for meals, they were basically cultivating in their rooms. Xiao Wu was understandable, after all. It was a broken heart, and everyone could understand. Ning Rongrong, however, puzzled them. Especially Oscar, deep down, his previous composure had long vanished, replaced by panic and unease. Could it be that even Rongrong, regarding Ning Chuan's future, Oscar no longer dared to think further? 2 days later, everyone set off again. After a day of travel, nearly a week later, they finally returned to Shrek Academy. What surprised them was that Flender was waiting for them at the entrance of Shrek Academy. "Tang-san, it's urgent. Come with me quickly." Flender immediately grabbed Tang-san's dark, stout arm and walked towards the male dormitory. "Dean, what happened?" Tang-san asked with a puzzled expression. "I'll explain to you later. In short, your teacher has arrived and little Ao, you come along too," Flender said. Looking at the frantic Flender and Tang-san and Oscar following him, Ning Rongrong's delicate, pretty face showed a puzzled expression. "What's wrong with them?" Ning Chuan shook his head. "Who knows?" But he had a guess in his heart. Could it be that Dai Mubai's thing had retracted and still hadn't come out? Zhao Wuji seemed to have thought of something. "All right, you all go back to your dorms to rest. I'll go take a look and report the situation of this trip to the dean." After a day of travel, everyone except Ning Chuan was tired and walked towards their respective dorms. Among them, Zhu Zhuqing directly followed Ning Chuan back to his dorm. The two were in the midst of a passionate romance. Although it wouldn't delay their cultivation, they didn't want to be separated for even a moment. On the other side, Tang-san and the others followed Flender to Dai Mubai's dormitory, where they saw Yu Zaya Agang, Dai Mubai, and Shrek's only food system spirit saint, Soul Saint Shao Xin. Ma Hongjun, who shared a room with Dai Mubai, also came along. At this moment, Dai Mubai's face was extremely pale, lying flat on the bed, gasping for breath. Soul Saint Shao Xin was feeding him candies from time to sustain him. The most bizarre thing was Dai Mubai's lower regions. They had completely retracted, leaving only a wrinkled black hole. Seeing Tang-san, his proud disciple, Yu Zaya Agang hurriedly said, "Little San, this is your Shrek teacher, Soul Saint Shao Xin. You have quite a bit of research on poisons. Quickly come and see what's wrong with Mubai. Little Ao, you also quickly prepare sausages." "My spirit power is almost at its limit," Soul Saint Shao Xin said this. "Hello, teacher Soul Saint Shao Xin." After greeting Soul Saint Shao Xin, Tang-san glanced at Dai Mubai's lower regions and asked in surprise, "Teacher, what exactly happened?" Flender said, "Let me explain." As he spoke, Flender recounted how Dai Mubai had flattened more than a dozen grass nest phoenixes in the red light district a week ago, then suffered a shrunken penis and fainted. It was only because they found him in time, with Soul Saint Shao Xin's candies sustaining him, and Dai Mubai himself being a spirit master, that he hadn't died already. Now they were at their wits' end, and at Yu Zaya Agang's suggestion, they could only place their hopes on Tang-san. Upon hearing this, Tang-san dared not delay. He quickly took out a silver needle and pricked the inner wall of Dai Mubai's pit. The silver needle did not turn black. Tang-san shook his head and said, "There are no signs of poisoning on Mubai." "Ah, what should we do?" Hearing this, Flender immediately became anxious. If this continued, Dai Mubai might really lose his life. At this moment, Zhao Wuji suddenly said, "I think it would be better to let Ning Chuan come and take a look. That little freak is well-read. There's almost nothing he doesn't know." After this trip to the Stardew Great Forest, everyone had developed admiration for Ning Chuan's knowledge, and even Zhao Wuji was no exception. Yes, let Boss Ning come and take a look. He knows everything," Ma Hongjun echoed. "Quick, Hongjun, go call Ning Chuan over," Flender said hurriedly. "Yes, Dean." After Ma Hongjun left, Flender briefly introduced Yu Zaya Agang to everyone. After the introduction, Yu Zaya Agang looked at Flender and frowned. "Ning Chuan has also joined Shrek Academy?" Flender nodded. "That kid is incredible. His strength is astonishing. Even Mubai at his peak is no match for him." Hearing this, Yu Zaya Agang's brows furrowed even tighter, forming a character like River. It's impossible to cultivate so quickly with only half a level of innate spirit power. As far as I know, his teacher very likely has been giving him drugs with side effects. All along, Yu Zaya Agang believed that Ning Chuan had only managed to keep pace with his disciple Tang-san in cultivation by taking drugs with huge side effects. Now, hearing that Ning Chuan was even more powerful than Dai Mubai, a level 37 Battle Soul Grandmaster with the top beast spirit White Tiger, He was full of disdain. What if he was powerful? What was gained by drugs could never last. He would be stuck at level 29, unable to advance an inch. I don't like what you're saying. What do you mean? How can someone with only half a level of innate spirit power cultivate so quickly? Just because you can't do it doesn't mean others can't. Zhao Wuji had heard of Yu Xiaogang. In the original story, out of respect for Flender, and because of Tang San, an excellent disciple who was also Tang Rishan's son, he had initially been very respectful of Yu Xiaogang, but at this moment, Tang San was performing so poorly. And Yu Xiaogang's spirit power fluctuations were very weak. At such an old age, he hadn't even reached Spirit Elder. His innate spirit power was almost certainly half a level, and he had even taught Tang San into a feces-filled person who peed and pooped a lot. In his heart, he greatly looked down on Yu Xiaogang. Seeing the other party question their most outstanding student, he naturally would not show a good face. I said, he took drugs. Hearing this, Yu Xiaogang seemed to have his reverse scale touched. Not only did he not feel that he had done anything wrong, but he acted exceptionally tough. With Flender by his side, he was not worried about Zhao Wuji making trouble. Which eye of yours saw it personally? Zhao Wuji glared at Yu Xiaogang. All right, calm down everyone. Old Zhao, Xiaogang is just making a conjecture. Seeing the two about to argue, Flender quickly intervened and explained to Yu Xiaogang, Xiaogang, it's better not to speak such words carelessly in the future. I have already examined that child Ning Chuan, and there are no signs of him having taken any drugs. As for the half-level innate spirit power, his spirit doesn't look like it only has half a level of innate spirit power, and he has already broken through to Spirit Elder and possesses 2,000-year spirit rings. Chapter 60 stinks 2,000-year spirit rings. A Spirit Elder. Yu Xiaogang was greatly surprised. Then his eyes lit up as he looked at Tang San and asked, Little San, is this true? Tang San nodded. Grandmaster, he really has 2,000-year spirit rings. His spirit power has also reached level 33. Then did he say how he managed it? Also, how did he break through level 30? Yu Xiaogang didn't dare to ask the last question, but the excitement and elation on his face were obvious. If he could discover this method and incorporate it into the spirit's 10 core competencies, it would undoubtedly shake the entire spirit master's world and spread the name of him, Grandmaster Yu Xiaogang. Of course, before that, he must first help his favorite disciple, Tang San, increase his strength and break the bottleneck that had troubled him for decades, allowing him to enter the Spirit Elder realm. It wouldn't be too late to publish it after his disciple became a titled Douluo. Tang San was about to answer when Ning Chuan leisurely walked in with Ma Hongjun. Dean, Teacher Zhao. Before Flender and Zhao Wuji could reply, Yu Xiaogang rushed forward and asked, Ning Chuan, I heard you broke through to Spirit Elder and obtained 2,000-year spirit rings. Quickly summon your spirit and show me. Dean, is there something you need me for? Ning Chuan ignored Yu Xiaogang and looked at Flender. He and Ma Hongjun had heard from afar Yu Xiaogang say that he had taken a medicine with side effects, so naturally, he wouldn't give him a good look. He didn't even bother to pretend, openly showing his dislike for him. You should quickly check on Mubai. He sigh. Flender sighed and recounted Dai Mubai's glorious deeds. At this moment, Dai Mubai was in so much pain that he was unconscious, not even knowing Ning Chuan had entered. He just kept gritting his teeth. Ning Chuan glanced at the hole in Dai Mubai's lower region, and an ill-mannered smile immediately appeared on his face. Dean, Dai Mubai isn't poisoned at all. He clearly shrunk in from excessive indulgence. Everyone present was an old bachelor. Although some had been to the red light district, this was the first time they had seen such symptoms. Hearing Ning Chuan's words, they were all stunned. Flender was the first to react. Since you know Mubai's symptoms, do you know how to cure him? Ning Chuan nodded, of course. I once studied human meridians and discovered that, as long as you take a sharp object and poke it into the back of the spine, it can come out. He naturally couldn't watch Dai Mubai die. Otherwise, the side effects would return to him. However, Dai Mubai had been like this for a week, so that thing was probably already necrotic. It was exactly what he wanted. "Teacher Zhao, please help lift his butt." Then he looked at Tang San. "Tang San, you should have steel needles on you, the large kind." Upon hearing this, although Tang San was displeased with Ning Chuan ignoring his grandmaster, he still handed over a steel needle that wasn't coated with poison. After Zhao Wuji lifted Dai Mubai's butt, Ning Chuan took the steel needle, aimed at Dai Mubai's spine for a moment, and then plunged it in fiercely. Wah-ah! Dai Mubai suddenly opened his eyes and screamed. The next moment, Dai Mubai seemed to be relieved, and he fainted with a look of ecstasy. Immediately after, a pervasive stench filled the room. "Ugh, what's going on? Did Boss Dai also soil his pants?" Ma Hongjun gagged. "It's not soiling his pants, it's that the blood flow to that thing was blocked. It has turned black and congested and become necrotic. If it's not cut off quickly, he'll lose his life." Ning Chuan deliberately showed a look of regret. Hearing this, Flender felt as if the sky was about to collapse. Others didn't know Dai Mubai's background, but he knew it clearly. It meant that Dai Mubai would lose the qualification to inherit the Star Luo Empire's throne, and what awaited him would be death, or at worst, having his spirit power abolished and being imprisoned for life. Is there really no other way? Flender was still unwilling to see Dai Mubai lose his future like this. Ning Chuan said, "It's not entirely without a solution. If we can find a healing titled Douluo who can regrow severed limbs for him, it might work. Or go find Rongrong." Rongrong's father is the sect master of the 7-treasure glazed tile school and also the #1 support system spirit master in the world, possessing powerful healing abilities. Perhaps he can save him. This was a lie. In reality, he knew that Ning Fengzhai simply didn't have such powerful healing abilities. He was just having them come over to restrain Tang Rishan. Incidentally, he wanted to make Dai Mubai becoming a eunuch known to everyone. And then there was Xiao Wu. Once they learned that Ning Fengzhai's father and a protecting Douluo would be coming, Xiao Wu would inevitably hide. Then, he could reveal Xiao Wu's identity and subtly mention that Tang Rishan was watching in the dark, letting Xiao Wu know that she had been targeted by Tang Rishan. This would completely cut off the possibility of her sacrificing herself for Tang San. It was simply killing 3 birds with 1 stone. However, he still had to be prepared for anything, lest Xiao Wu, under the double blow of heartbreak and the impending arrival of a titled Douluo, simply leave and be caught by Tang Rishan. Good, I'll go find Rongrong now. Finding a healing titled Douluo was certainly impossible. It wasn't a matter of whether they could be persuaded, but that there were no healing spirit masters in the current continent who had cultivated to titled Douluo. The only option now was to invite the sect master of the 7-treasure glazed tile school, who was known as the #1 support system spirit master in the world. If Ning Rongrong spoke, it should work. A moment later, Flender returned, shaking his head helplessly. "Rongrong is unwilling to help," Zhao Wuji said angrily. "It would be a miracle if she helped. You didn't even look at how you bullied that little girl earlier." Hearing this, Flender recalled the earlier events. At that time, Dai Mubai had even thought about packing Ning Rongrong's things and making her leave. His old face immediately flushed red, and he awkwardly looked at Oscar. "How about little Ao, you go persuade her?" He remembered asking Oscar to comfort Ning Rongrong back then. Perhaps Oscar's persuasion would work. Oscar showed a look as if his mother had died. "Dean, compared to you and Boss Dai, Rongrong hates me even more now. Even if I wanted to persuade her, she wouldn't listen to me." Ma Hongjun, however, rolled his eyes. "Dean, I think it's better to let Boss Ning go persuade her. Among us boys, only Boss Ning can talk to Rongrong. Moreover, a few days ago in the Stardew Great Forest, Boss Ning saved me, Rongrong, and Sister Zhuking." Hearing this, Flender's eyes lit up, and he looked at Ning Chuan with anticipation. "Ning Chuan, what do you think about this?" Oscar, however, felt sour in his heart. Why was Ning Chuan involved in everything? He already had Zhu Zhuking, so why did he still have to compete with him for Ning Rongrong Chapter 61 Anal Ambition? All right, I'll give it a try. Ning Rongrong's refusal was within Ning Chuan's expectations. Even if Flender hadn't mentioned it, he would have gone to persuade her. Soon, he arrived at Ning Rongrong's dormitory and knocked on the door. Ning Rongrong's voice came from inside. I've told you how many times that perverted tiger ran off to the red light district and drained himself dry. It serves him right. I would never ask my father to save such a disgusting person. Rongrong, it's me, Ning Chuan said. As his words fell, hurried footsteps came from within, and then the door opened, revealing Ning Rongrong's familiar, graceful figure. As for Xiao Wu, she was currently sitting cross-legged on the bed, pretending to meditate and cultivate. Did the dean send you? Ning Rongrong was very smart. She guessed that Flender had sent Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan glanced inside the room and saw Xiao Wu peeking at him. He smiled and said, Sort of, but it's not entirely because of the dean. It's also for us. Us. Ning Rongrong's pretty face quickly flushed, and she turned to start fiddling with her brown long hair. Ning Chuan actually said us. Does he like me? No, I can't let Xiao Wu down, and even more so, I can't let Zhuking down. We are good sisters. Well, look, after you get your father to come over, you can tell him all the hardships you've suffered these past few days and let him get revenge for you to vent your anger. And while you're at it, call your grandpa Sword over too and let him guide me in swordsmanship. Isn't that killing two birds with one stone? Ning Chuan said. So that's how it is, Ning Rongrong muttered softly, her mouth pouting slightly in disappointment. What did you say? Ning Chuan deliberately pretended not to hear. Ah, nothing. Ning Rongrong shook her head somewhat flustered, then said seriously. Okay, for your sake, I'll write a letter right now and have Flender deliver it to my father. Then I'll be blessed. Having a titled Douluo guide me in swordsmanship is truly something one can only dream of. Ning Chuan deliberately emphasized the words titled Douluo. After he left, Xiao Wu opened her eyes. Ning Rongrong said with a giggle, What? Xiao Wu, your little six has already left. Are you only now willing to open your eyes? Isn't it a bit late? Rongrong, don't talk nonsense. He already has a girlfriend, and besides, we're just ordinary friends. Xiao Wu's pretty face flushed. Oh, ordinary friends, the childhood sweetheart's kind, Ning Rongrong said sarcastically. Indeed, the two had known each other since they were 6, which could barely count as childhood sweethearts. However, compared to that, Xiao Wu was more concerned about the titled Douluo Ning Chuan mentioned. Rongrong, will your father and your grandpa Sword really come? Of course, my father and my grandpa Sword love me very much. As long as Flender delivers my letter, they will definitely come. Ning Rongrong said, taking out paper and pen and beginning to write. I see. Xiao Wu breathed a sigh of relief, walked to the window, and looked in the direction of the Stardew Great Forest. Now that Ning Chuan already had a girlfriend, and a titled Douluo would soon arrive here, she had no more attachments. Staying here would only lead to being hunted by human spirit masters. It was time for her to return to the Stardew Great Forest. On the other side, Ning Chuan told Flender that Ning Rongrong had agreed and turned to walk out of Dai Mubai's dormitory. Yu Xiaogang quickly followed him and stopped him at the door of Ning Chuan's dormitory. Ning Chuan, wait a moment. What is it? Ning Chuan replied indifferently. Aren't you going to invite me in for a seat? Yu Xiaogang showed what he considered to be a benevolent smile. No. Yu Xiaogang thought Ning Chuan was still holding a grudge about what happened back then, and on his stiff old face, he showed what he considered to be a gentle smile. First of all, regarding what happened back then, although it wasn't me who did it, I still apologize to you and your teacher. Ning Chuan. And then, presumably, you must have some understanding of me. Little Sans Blue Silver Grass was originally just a useless spirit, but after my guidance, it has gained extremely strong control. At this time, Yu Xiaogang did not know Tang San's performance after coming to Shrek. Flender, not wanting to discourage Yu Xiaogang, had not told him about Tang San's poor performance when he enrolled. Everyone had just returned, and no one had told him about Tang San's diarrhea, and Tang San certainly wouldn't expose himself. Yu Xiaogang began to ramble on about how he had guided Tang San, and then how Tang San had grown under his guidance to this day. Ning Chuan mercilessly exposed him. "Grandmaster, you must want to know how I broke through to Spirit Elder and how I obtained 2,000-year spirit rings, right?" Yu Xiaogang certainly wouldn't admit it. "I'm just worried you're going down the wrong path and want to give you some advice. I'm sure you know that I have quite a bit of research in spirit theory." Ning Chuan curled his lips and said, "Well, in that case, I just happen to have a few questions I want to ask Grandmaster. If Grandmaster can answer them one by one, then I might just tell you how I broke through to Spirit Elder and how I obtained my second 1,000-year spirit ring." "Ask away." Yu Xiaogang slightly straightened his chest, hands clasped behind his back, feeling no psychological burden at all, as his theories were invincible. At this moment, Tang San, worried that Ning Chuan might harm Yu Xiaogang, followed them. Ning Chuan glanced at Tang San and said, "Since they are questions, how can only I know them? Let's wait until the formal class to ask them so everyone can listen to the teachings of you, the theoretical Grandmaster." Yu Xiaogang felt that no theoretical question could stump him, so he agreed. After Ning Chuan entered his dormitory, Tang San followed Yu Xiaogang to the living quarters Flender had arranged for him. "Teacher, what were you two just talking about? Did Ning Chuan make things difficult for you?" "It wasn't exactly difficult. He just asked how I obtained my second 1,000-year spirit ring. This could be of great help to your future cultivation." Yu Xiaogang did not mention wanting to know how Ning Chuan broke through to Spirit Elder. Hearing this, Tang San felt another wave of emotion. He knew how proud his teacher was, but for his sake, he went to ask that scoundrel Ning Chuan. Besides his father and Xiao Wu, his teacher was the best to him. Looking at Tang San's emotional expression, Yu Xiaogang smiled slightly, gently rubbed his head and asked, "How is Mubai doing?" Tang San shook his head. "The situation is not optimistic. After you left, I checked again, and Mubai's thing has indeed necrotized. Now it's only a matter of time before it rots. I'm afraid even if Rongrong's father really comes, it will be difficult to cure." "I see. Then we can only leave it to fate." Yu Xiaogang felt a bit regretful, as he had planned to build Dai Mubai into a member of the Shrek team to participate in the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament in over 2 years. And this team would be led by his proud disciple, Tang San, creating a team exclusively for his disciple, Tang San. He also didn't know if Dai Mubai's condition would be affected after losing that thing. Chapter 62, Ning Fengzhai. Tang San nodded, and then, as if he thought of something, suddenly said, "Oh, right, teacher, I discovered something very strange. Tell me about it." "I found that, when I use my blue-silver grass spirit, I can feel a very strong resonance from Dai Mubai." Upon hearing this, Yu Xiaogang's eyes instantly lit up. "It's a martial soul fusion skill." Tang San was startled. "Martial soul fusion skill?" Yu Xiaogang was very excited and began to painstakingly explain his so-called theory. "That's right, it's a martial soul fusion skill. According to my research, a martial soul fusion skill is when 2 or even more people's spirits are fused together. However, it's not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. It's a presence greater than 2, capable of enhancing combat power by several times, thereby achieving cross-rank combat. Additionally, if 2 people with a martial soul fusion skill cultivate together, they can also get a certain bonus in terms of cultivation speed. It's just that I never expected blue-silver grass to be able to fuse with a white tiger. It's truly surprising. Little San, it seems you made the right choice coming to Shrek Academy." Tang San also showed a faint smile on his face after hearing this. Indeed, he also felt that he had made the right choice coming to Shrek, if not for the things that happened in the Star-Dew Great Forest. At the same time, Zhao Wuji, who had returned to the dean's office with Flender, also described in detail the events of their trip to the Stardew Great Forest. I never thought that a simple spirit hunt would encounter so many things. It seems I was too careless. But what's going on with that kid, Tang-san? Why does he always get diarrhea at critical moments? Upon learning that everyone encountered the Titan giant ape, Flender was both terrified and couldn't help but feel deeply disappointed in Tang-san. How could Clear Sky Douluo give birth to such a coward? He truly was a rotten person full of waste. Zhao Wuji also felt that Tang-san was very incompetent, but more than that, he was fearful. Then he heard Flender say, "To be safe, next time we hunt for spirits, you and I will lead the team together, and we'll also bring Yusong and Kai Bin." "Oh, right. What about that bull roar Xiao Wu mentioned?" Zhao Wuji answered without hesitation. According to Ning Chuan, that was most likely the Sky Azure Bull Python, one of the two great emperors of the Stardew Great Forest, and like the Titan giant ape, it's 100,000-year spirit beast. But then again, I was originally a bit worried. Flender was startled. Worried about what? Zhao Wuji said, "Well, you see, recently Mubai seems to be having conflicts with Ning Chuan because of that girl Zhuking. Now that Mubai is crippled, and Zhuking and that little freak Ning Chuan have taken a liking to each other, I imagine they shouldn't have any more conflicts over this matter, affecting their unity." Upon hearing this, Flender had another headache. However, what Zhao Wuji said might be correct. Dai Mubai was already crippled. Even if Zhu Zhuking were with Dai Mubai, it would only harm her. Being with Ning Chuan was a good choice. The most urgent matter was to take the letter Ning Rongrong had just sent and go to the 7-treasure glazed tile school to find Ning Fengzhai. Dai Mubai's condition could not be delayed. Regardless of Dai Mubai's condition, when Ning Chuan returned to the dormitory, he saw Zhu Zhuking meditating and cultivating. Ning Chuan did not disturb her. Instead, he took out a pack of silver that peep a small trumpet and swallowed it. Ding, detected side effect silver that peep a small trumpet depletes vital essence and spirit. Long-term use will cause kidney deficiency. Please bind a recipient. Ning Chuan immediately thought, bind Tang Hao. Ding, detected recipient is not within binding range. It seems that Tang Rishan isn't nearby. He's probably gone to the cave to see Ah Yin again. Bind Yu Zaya Agang. Ning Chuan smiled inwardly, binding Yu Zaya Agang, binding successful. On the other side, Yu Zaya Agang was examining Tang Sen's newly acquired third spirit ability, and before he could express his opinion. For no reason, he felt a surge of heat throughout his body. He then casually found an excuse to send Tang San away. He himself closed the door and called for his 5 fingers. Just as Ning Chuan transferred the side effect to Yu Zaya Agang, Zhu Zhuking opened her eyes and exited her cultivation state. "Did the dean call you for something just now?" "Nothing much. It's just that Dai Mubai overindulged and crippled himself. The dean asked me to go see if there was a solution." As he spoke, Ning Chuan recounted Dai Mubai's glorious deeds. Upon learning that Dai Mubai had crippled himself, Zhu Zhuking's first reaction was anger, furious at his lack of ambition, as if he was gambling with both their lives. Didn't he know the consequences of losing to Dai Weisi and Zhu Jian? Following that was a sense of relief and fortune. Relief that since she had already decided to be with Ning Chuan, Dai Mubai's fate no longer concerned her, fortune that Ning Chuan had appeared in her life, giving her light. Otherwise, she might have faced the end of her life, or even if she didn't die, her spirit power would be crippled, and she would be imprisoned for life. Serves him right. Zhu Zhuking coldly commented on Dai Mubai with 2 words, and then continued. "So has the dean already gone to the 7-treasure glazed tile school? I imagine he must have set off by now, but I noticed something else." Ning Chuan frowned. Zhu Zhuking was startled. "Something else," Ning Chuan said mysteriously. "Whether it's true or not still needs to be confirmed." "Coincidentally, I plan to take you to Soto City to find a quiet place to fuse your external spirit bone, and we can test it along the way." The 7-treasure glazed tile school was located 20 li south of Heavendew City. If a normal spirit master were to travel, even if Flender was a spirit saint, it would take at least several days. However, he was also a flying spirit master, and his spirit was the four-eyed owl, known for its speed. So he arrived at midnight. After stating his identity and presenting Ning Rongrong's letter, Flender was quickly received by Ning Fengjai, who arranged accommodation for him and promised to go to Shrek Academy the next day to help treat Dai Mubai. At this time, in the main hall of the seven-treasure glazed tile school, Ning Fengjai sat on a large chair carved from rosewood and inlaid with a warm jade, reading the letter from Ning Rongrong. In the 1,000-square-meter seven-treasure hall, only Ning Fengjai was present at this moment. He wore an immaculate white robe, looked about 40 years old, and had the appearance of an ordinary person. His gaze remained focused on the letter in his hand, and an expression of interest occasionally appeared on his face. The 3-meter-high hall doors opened, and two old men walked in side by side. Ning Fengjai stood up and said, "Uncle Jian, Uncle Gu, you're here." The white-robed old man on the left spoke. "Fengjai, I heard Rongrong sent a letter." The gaunt old man with an unusually large frame on the right pressed on. "Did Rongrong mention me in her letter? I knew it. Rongrong definitely wouldn't forget me. If she were to forget anyone, she'd definitely forget this sword person. Quick, hand over the letter, let me see it." Chapter 63, Fooling and Then Fooling You're Full of Nonsense. The white-robed elder on the right gave the withered elder no face at all. "Rongrong would never forget me. If she's going to forget anyone, it'll be you. You're the one full of nonsense." The withered elder immediately flared up. The white-robed elder showed no fear, puffing out his chest and glaring at the other party. "Not convinced. Come on, let's find a place to have a one-on-one fight." "Let's go then, as if I'm scared of you." While the two were talking, Ning Fengjai had already stepped down from the high platform where the throne was located and came before them, saying helplessly, "All right, Uncle Sword, Uncle Bone, stop bickering. Rongrong's letter is right here." These two individuals were none other than the seven-treasure glazed tile school's two great protecting Douluo, Bone Douluo Gu Rong and Sword Douluo Chenzin. They had been feuding for decades, their temperaments clashing, which left Ning Fengjai quite helpless. Next, the two titled Douluo simply read Ning Rongrong's letter. There were only 3 things in total. First, Ning Rongrong expressed her longing for them and Ning Fengjai. Immediately after, she mentioned that Dai Mubai had ruined himself in the red light district, and Flender had asked her to write a letter seeking Ning Fengjai's treatment. Finally, she brought up Ning Chuan. Perhaps because Ning Chuan had saved Ning Rongrong from the Titan giant ape in the Stardew Great Forest, Ning Chuan left a deep impression on Ning Rongrong. Almost half of the entire letter was dedicated to describing Ning Chuan. From their first meeting during the Shrek Academy entrance exam, to Ning Chuan encouraging her when almost everyone was ostracizing her, to him fearlessly saving her from the Titan giant ape in the Stardew Great Forest. Finally, she requested Sword Douluo to help guide Ning Chuan. After reading the letter, both Gu Rong and Sword Douluo fell silent. After a long while, Gu Rong finally uttered a strange remark. "Rongrong couldn't have fallen for that boy named Ning Chuan, could she?" How to describe this expression. It was very much like the feeling of one's prized cabbage, nurtured for many years, being rooted up by a pig. Compared to Gu Rong, Chenzin was much calmer. At only 12 years old, his spirit power has reached 33rd rank. He possesses 2,000-year spirit rings, and his spirit is an unseen top-tier tool spirit, the Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword, capable of effortlessly emitting sword kai. He must have already taken a master, which is truly a bit of a shame, but he is indeed worthy of Rongrong. Then let's go tomorrow. After all, Headmaster Flender came in person and even brought Rongrong's letter. We can't possibly refuse our little devil girl's request, can we? Ning Fengjai was also very interested in this young man named Ning Chuan. If he could be recruited into the sect, he would definitely be a great asset in the future. Late at night, the entire Shrek Academy became completely quiet. Only Dai Mubai's room occasionally emitted wails and howls. Xiao Wu, on the pretext of needing to go out, greeted Ning Rongrong and then left the dormitory. The titled Douluo from the 7-treasure glazed tile school would arrive by tomorrow at the latest, and she had no lingering attachment to this place. If she had any, it was Ning Chuan, but it was a pity he already had a girlfriend, and there was no longer any possibility between them. Staying here would only lead to being caught by human titled Douluo, then killed for her spirit ring and bone. Walking to Ning Chuan's dormitory door, Xiao Wu tried to knock on his door to bid him a final farewell, but her hand quickly retracted, and she sighed. "Little Six, goodbye. I wish you happiness." After saying her last words, Xiao Wu turned and walked towards the village entrance. As she turned, tears fell. "Are you leaving already?" Just as Xiao Wu walked out of the village entrance, a sudden voice made her stop. Xiao Wu's body stiffened, and she turned around to see Ning Chuan, dressed in a cyan tight-fitting outfit, leaning against the left side of the village archway, arms crossed, eyes closed in contemplation, coupled with his extremely handsome appearance. At this moment, in Xiao Wu's eyes, Ning Chuan looked like a painting. Xiao Wu wiped her tears, her eyes red, and forced a smile, saying, "What a coincidence, little Six. Why aren't you asleep so late?" "It's not a coincidence. I waited here specifically for you." Ning Chuan opened his eyes, slowly walked in front of Xiao Wu, and gently brushed away the tears on Xiao Wu's face. "Waited for me." Xiao Wu's pretty face visibly flushed red at a speed visible to the naked eye. Steam rose from her head, turning her into a steaming princess. Thinking back, this was the first time Ning Chuan had been so gentle with her. "Let's talk as we walk. I was planning to go to Soto City anyway." Ning Chuan sighed, and without waiting for Xiao Wu's consent, he directly took her hand and walked towards Soto City. Xiao Wu didn't speak. Her face just grew redder, and she silently followed beside Ning Chuan. After walking for a while, Ning Chuan suddenly spoke. "Xiao Wu, do you know why I deliberately distanced myself from you all these years?" Xiao Wu shook her head blankly, then seemed to think of something and pouted. "Is it because you men all like big ones?" These past few days, she had carefully compared the differences between herself and Zhu Zhuqing and found that she was not inferior to Zhu Zhuqing in any aspect. The only difference might be the roux GMO, meat sandwich. Zhu Zhuqing's roux GMO was so big and substantial that if she were a man, she probably wouldn't be able to help but be tempted. Ning Chuan shook his head. "No, it's because a titled Douluo with a hammer spirit and 100,000-year spirit ring once privately threatened me." Titled Douluo. Xiao Wu's pupils suddenly constricted. Her entire body instantly froze in place, breaking out in a cold sweat, and even her slender hand, held in Ning Chuan's palm, slipped out. Ning Chuan turned to look at her and smiled. "Yes, at the time I was very surprised. After all, I was just a small spirit scholar who had only recently awakened his spirit. I only thought that your family elders wouldn't allow someone with such low talent as me to associate with you. Over time, I chose to deliberately avoid contact with you. I didn't expect you would still tell me the truth like this. When I heard your words, I was truly surprised. After all, before that, you were always with Tang-san." Xiao Wu snorted softly. "I don't have those kinds of feelings for Black Bro anymore, but you're different. You still found Zhuqing." Saying that, she looked at Ning Chuan with hopeful eyes again. "If I had known my feelings earlier, would you still have?" "Perhaps." Ning Chuan continued to mislead her, and Xiao Wu listened with delight. She wore a secretly pleased expression. However, Ning Chuan's next sentence made her face turn pale again. "Xiao Wu, actually, you're not human, are you?" "You, what are you saying? I don't understand what you mean." Xiao Wu's body trembled. Her worst fear had come true. Ning Chuan continued to speak to himself. "At first, I didn't know why that titled Douluo would threaten me and not let me get close to you. It wasn't until the trip to the Stardew Great Forest, after the incident with the Titan giant ape, that I started to understand a little. After all, once a spirit beast reaches 100,000 years, its intelligence is almost indistinguishable from a normal person. And it's rumored that the Titan giant ape and the sky azure bull python are brothers. There's no reason why it would knock out and kill dozens of spirit beasts, yet let a human spirit master go. Subscribe for more books, Infinite Novel Audio. Chapter 64, Cuckold. Tang Buddha cuckold, was that when you started suspecting me? Xiao Wu lowered her head slightly, her expression full of desolation. She knew her identity could no longer be hidden. Ning Chuan shook his head. No, at that time it was only suspicion, so when the dean asked me to plead with Rongrong, I deliberately mentioned the words titled Douluo. It wasn't until just now, when you intended to secretly leave alone, that I truly confirmed it. Hearing this, Xiao Wu's expression became even more desolate, but she still raised her head, forced a smile, looked at Ning Chuan's handsome face, which was so close, and choked with red eyes. Little Six, your imagination is really rich. If I'm not human, what else could I be? Don't joke with me anymore, or I'll really cry. This pitiful appearance was not faked. At this moment, Xiao Wu's psychological defenses were on the verge of collapse. Ning Chuan shook his head. It doesn't matter what you are. Whether human or otherwise, I only know that you are a girl who silently watched me for 6 years. The girl who wanted to take me as her little brother the first time we met, but got a good beating from me. And also the one who liked me for 6 years. But I only realized it recently. As he spoke, Xiao Wu was embraced into his warm arms, and Ning Chuan's voice also became choked. Well, that was faked. It's just that he no longer wanted Xiao Wu's spirit ring and spirit bone as much. Let fate decide. In short, he had given up on killing Xiao Wu. Why are you crying? You're really cunning. Ning Chuan's sudden embrace made Xiao Wu pause, then she hugged Ning Chuan back, resting her head on his shoulder, letting out a faint sob. They embraced each other, standing still for a long while. Then, Xiao Wu let out a deep breath, lifted her face, and her expression became uncharacteristically serious. She let go of Ning Chuan and turned her back to him. Ning Chuan? Ning Chuan quietly waited for her next words. Xiao Wu didn't turn her head, but her voice, full of strong will, still conveyed her determination. What about Zhuking then? Ning Chuan showed a faint smile on his face. No one stipulated that you can't have 2 girlfriends, right? If you don't want to, then we can go back to how things were. Before Ning Chuan could finish speaking, Xiao Wu immediately covered his mouth. Don't even think about it. Since you've accepted me, then I'm sticking to you for life. Don't even think about running away. Ning Chuan held Xiao Wu's soft little hand. Actually, Zhuking, like you, is also a pitiful person. As he spoke, Ning Chuan recounted Zhu Zhuking's experiences. How she had been burdened with a cruel fate that shouldn't have been hers since childhood, how she was assassinated by her older sister, abandoned by that scumbag Dai Mubai, and traveled thousands of miles to Shrek Academy. Only to find Dai Mubai indulging in debauchery and womanizing every day, treating their lives as a joke, and how she had once fallen into despair. After listening, Xiao Wu was filled with righteous indignation, feeling very sorry for Zhu Zhuking. She pouted and said, "No wonder that scumbag Dai Mubai became a eunuch. Serves him right, he brought it upon himself." Then Xiao Wu seemed to think of something again, and her expression once more became desolate. Looking at Ning Chuan, she said, "Little Six, I'm very, very happy that you can accept my feelings, but today I must leave. But don't worry, once I reach maturity, I will definitely come find you." "Is it because of the 7 treasure glazed tile school?" Xiao Wu nodded, then heard Ning Chuan say, "If you really leave Shrek now, it would be even more dangerous. As far as I know, the titled Douluo who threatened me not to get close to you back then definitely wasn't secretly protecting you. Now I have a theory." "Tell me." Xiao Wu's expression became serious again. In her heart, no one's wisdom could compare to Ning Chuan's. From the incident in the Stardew Great Forest, he deduced that she was very likely a transformed spirit beast, which showed a glimpse of his insight. Moreover, Xiao Wu had now confirmed her relationship with Ning Chuan. At this moment, Xiao Wu had developed blind trust in Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan said, "As far as I know, there are two ways for a spirit master to obtain a spirit ring. One is by hunting, and the other is through a spirit beast sacrifice. The former requires the spirit master to have sufficient endurance, and the latter, I presume, I don't need to explain much. You should also be clear. I suspect that person wants to keep you by someone's side, let you develop feelings with his descendant, and then design a death trap for you two, so that in a desperate situation, you would willingly sacrifice yourself to the person he designated." "It's Tang San." Xiao Wu immediately thought of Tang San. By her side, only Tang San fit this description. No wonder that person kept wanting to recognize her as his younger sister. Ning Chuan, playing hard to get, shook his head. "I can't confirm it yet. After all, Tang San's spirit is blue-silver grass, and that person's spirit is a hammer." HMPH, who else could it be but him? Thinking back, that guy would secretly badmouth you for no reason, slandering you in front of me, and his teacher isn't a good person either. Thinking of how she had been deceived by Tang San all these years, Xiao Wu was furious. She felt that she had been betrayed after all these years of treating Tang San as her older brother. She never expected that guy was actually after her spirit ring and spirit bone. Ning Chuan said sternly, "Whether it's true or not is no longer important. What's important is your safety. Once that person discovers you've left Shrek, I'm afraid you'll be caught before you even return to the Stardew Great Forest. What awaits you next will be endless imprisonment until that person's descendant's spirit power breaks through rank 90. Conversely, as long as you continue to stay at Shrek, you will temporarily remain safe. But before that, you must remember not to expose our relationship to anyone. Otherwise, if that person discovers his plan has failed, he might go to extremes, kill me, and then imprison you." "Does that mean I can't even tell Zhuking?" Xiao Wu asked with a hint of jealousy. Ning Chuan, "You know Zhuking's personality. If she knew about our relationship, even if she eventually accepted it, she would definitely show clues. If you want us to be separated forever, then go ahead and tell her." Bah, don't say such discouraging things. I promise." Xiao Wu quickly covered Ning Chuan's mouth. Although not being able to openly be with Ning Chuan made her very disappointed for their safety, this was the only way. Then she seemed to think of something again, slowly released Ning Chuan's mouth, and then vigilantly looked around. "Does that mean we might also be under his surveillance right now?" Ning Chuan said, "We encountered such a dangerous situation in the Stardew Great Forest, and he didn't show up, so he probably isn't here. Besides, as a titled Douluo, he wouldn't be so idle as to stare at this desolate place called Shrek every day, unless he's truly bored out of his mind." Chapter 65. The Yin and Yang Ning Chuan said, "I'll send you to Soto City now. Find a place to stay for a few days, and practice diligently to improve your spirit power. Once the people from the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School leave, I'll come pick you up." "Okay," Xiao Wu nodded, and the two moved towards Soto City with extreme agility. However, after not long, Xiao Wu stopped and looked at him intently. Ning Chuan sighed, half-crouched, and said, "Come on." Xiao Wu immediately jumped onto Ning Chuan's back with such excitement and joy that it was almost overflowing. Ning Chuan carried Xiao Wu on his back, moving with great speed, and in the blink of an eye, they vanished into the night. When they were close to Soto City, Ning Chuan took out a black robe and a mask he had never revealed before, putting them on Xiao Wu. As for himself, he changed into a straw hat outfit. The two entered Soto City like this. Ning Chuan found a secluded hotel and booked a room for Xiao Wu. He also gave her the spirit tool storage ring he had obtained from the deceased brother Dao. Ning Chuan then removed his disguise and went to a nearby tea house to find Zhu Zhuking. She smiled at Ning Chuan and said, "Let's go, I've already booked the room." Ning Chuan nodded and followed. In front of outsiders, they still needed to be mindful of appearances. Zhu Zhuking led the way with familiarity, and they soon arrived at a nearby hotel. Under the front desk's meaningful gaze, the two went upstairs. Ning Chuan casually asked, "Zhuking, aren't you going to ask me where I went? If you're willing to tell me, then you'll say it without me asking." "If you're not, it means you have your reasons," Zhu Zhuking replied with a smile, her expression radiant and unparalleled. Under the cover of night, the hotel corridor was dimly lit, but Zhu Zhuking's smiling face seemed to illuminate this dark and narrow path. Against the black backdrop, her face was as clear as the moon. "You really are understanding. However, it's better if fewer people know about this matter. Knowing it would bring no benefit," Ning Chuan chuckled, then immediately skipped over the previous topic. "But then again, are you really so at ease sharing a room with me? Aren't you afraid I'll take the opportunity to?" As he spoke, Ning Chuan gave her a knowing look. Hearing this, Zhu Zhuking not only showed no fear but instead turned and walked towards him. Her exquisite face, graceful figure, high-rising beautiful breasts, long, beautiful legs beneath her delicate black clothes, and her cold yet steady demeanor, even the faint peach-like fragrance emanating from Zhu Zhuking, all constituted an immense attraction for Ning Chuan. Just as Ning Chuan was about to act, the little cat suddenly revealed a mischievous smile, then took out a key, opened the door to a nearby suite, and walked in. Ning Chuan quickly followed, casually closing the door and locking it. By the time Ning Chuan had everything ready, Zhu Zhuking had already sat down on the floor, taken out the Black Widow external soul bone, and placed it on her back to begin absorbing it. This girl, when did she learn to play tricks? Ning Chuan felt a bit helpless, thinking that guarding Zhu Zhuking would be too boring, so he simply took out Silver that peep a small trumpet and started stuffing it into his mouth, packet by packet. In short, if he was uncomfortable, Yu Xiaogang wouldn't have an easy time either. As for the side effects being transferred to Yu Xiaogang, the benefits naturally went to Ning Chuan. After all, excluding the side effects, Silver that peep a small trumpet and the previous I love a stick of wood greatly enhanced that aspect. It was entirely imaginable how he would utterly defeat the little cat when he truly got down to business in the future. Although absorbing an external spirit bone was much more difficult than absorbing spirit bones from the other 6 parts of the body, it was simpler than absorbing a spirit ring. Thus, this roughly 2,000-year-old Black Widow external spirit bone was integrated into Zhu Zhuking's body in just 2.5 hours. She opened her eyes, her face beaming with an uncontrollable smile of excitement. "Ning Chuan, I succeeded. Release the spirit bone and let's see." "Let's test its effect." Ning Chuan's lips curled into a barely noticeable, cunning arc. Zhu Zhuking nodded, not suspecting a thing. She closed her eyes, felt the external spirit bone within her body, and gathered her spirit power there. Accompanied by a tearing sound, 6 spider lances, each about 2.5 meters long, completely black and extremely smooth in appearance, extended from her back. And Zhu Zhuking herself hadn't even realized what was happening when the clothes on her upper body suddenly burst open, her breasts swaying. In an instant, Ning Chuan saw everything clearly. A blush quickly spread across her face. Zhu Zhuking let out a sharp ah. And, without even having time to retract the external spirit bone, quickly covered her chest, turning her back to Ning Chuan. As she turned, she didn't forget to say to Ning Chuan, "Stay away from me. These spider lances carry neurotoxin and you're not allowed to look." Ning Chuan chuckled. "You've already turned away. What more can I see? Besides, I've already seen what needed to be seen. This counts as the interest you're paying for teasing me earlier. So you knew this would happen all along." Zhu Zhuking's face turned even redder. Although the two had already confirmed their relationship, they were not yet intimate enough to be completely open with each other due to their age. In this regard, Zhu Zhuking was still very shy. Ning Chuan smiled faintly, non-committally. "All right, quickly retract this external spirit bone. Before fully integrating this spirit bone, there's a risk of clothes bursting. Later, it's better to custom make a few special clothes to wear for now, just in case." Zhu Zhuqing nodded, and as instructed, she condensed her spirit power, sent it to her back, and issued a command to retract the 6 spider lances. Because it was her first time operating them, the spider lances retracted very slowly. Zhu Zhuqing only felt an itch on her back, with no discomfort, but her spirit power was consumed faster. This single retraction and extension alone consumed nearly a third of her spirit power, and at this moment, Ning Chuan finally saw Zhu Zhuqing's complete back. Regarding the beauty of women, if the face, chest, and other front parts are considered the yang side, then their back is the yin side. The human back is extremely symmetrical, and women's backs are more prominent than men's. If a woman has a deep back dimple and protruding shoulder blades, the richness of the bone structure makes it resemble a butterfly raising its wings. An interesting proposition in fashion aesthetics is between revealing and not revealing. This means that how much a woman's clothing exposes is an art. Not revealing anything at all makes one a Taliban woman, revealing too much leaves nothing to the imagination. However, Zhu Zhuqing's back defied this notion. She was completely nude, without even the back strap of an inner garment. There were no spots, no scars, no black hair, not even traces of insect bites. It was as perfect as a butterfly poised to take flight. Ning Chuan had originally thought her yang side was beautiful enough. He hadn't expected her yin side to be just as stunning. Chapter 66, Xiao Wu left. Tang San cried as Ning Chuan still wanted to look closer. Zhu Zhuqing had already entered the bathroom, and when she came out, she was already wearing a brand new set of clothes. But perhaps because of the previous incident, she was too shy to look at Ning Chuan, only urging, "All right, I've already fused it. Now it's my turn to protect you." Ning Chuan said with a smile, "No rush, let's talk about your spirit bone ability first." His external spirit bone was obtained from a man-faced demon spider when he discarded the underground devil spider's corpse. Well, that's what Ning Chuan told Zhu Zhuqing at the time. Zhu Zhuqing replied without hesitation. "After I use the spirit bone, all my attributes are enhanced by 35%. Additionally, this external spirit bone can also be used as a weapon, comes with neurotoxin, has the ability to devour energy and absorb toxins, and counters all spiderweb-type skills." Ning Chuan nodded. Compared to the 8 spider lances, this Black Widow external soul bone not only had 2 fewer spider lances, but also a 15% reduction in all enhanced stats. This was within Ning Chuan's expectations. After all, besides spitting spiderwebs, the Black Widow was inferior to the man-faced demon spider in many other aspects. At this moment, it was less than 2 hours until dawn. So Ning Chuan did not delay, quickly took out the 8 spider lances and began to absorb them. This made Zhu Zhuqing breathe a sigh of relief. She was really afraid that Ning Chuan would go wild, and at that time she would definitely find it hard to refuse. It wasn't unwillingness, but rather trepidation. After all, both of them were still too young. The next morning, the Shrek Academy bell rang, and everyone successively rushed to the large training ground. Today, Shrek was particularly lively because it was the opening ceremony. Except for Flender, who had gone to the 7-treasure glazed tile school, Dai Mubai, who was bedridden, and Xiao Wu, everyone else had arrived, including Yu Xiaogang. However, his sallow, stiff old face looked very haggard, his complexion pale, his eyes bloodshot, and his spirit very listless. He could barely stand steadily, looking like he had overexerted himself. Because Flender was not present, the meeting was presided over by Zhao Wuji, the vice dean. He scanned everyone and asked, "Where's Xiao Wu? Why isn't she here?" Tang San looked at Ning Rongrong, who shared a dormitory with Xiao Wu. "Rongrong, is Xiao Wu still cultivating?" He thought Xiao Wu had entered a meditative state during cultivation, like Oscar did when he was heartbroken last time. Ning Rongrong shook her head and said, "I don't know where Xiao Wu went either. When I opened my eyes this morning, I didn't see her, and it seems she never came back after going out last night." At this point, she meaningfully glanced at Ning Chuan, hesitatingly saying, "Do you think she might have left Shrek Academy?" Upon hearing this, Ma Hongjun and Oscar, who knew about Xiao Wu's heartbreak, nodded in deep agreement. Indeed, it was quite possible that Xiao Wu had already left. Only Ning Chuan knew where Xiao Wu went. Zhu Zhuqing also had some guesses. Tang San, on the other hand, instantly became agitated, his eyes bloodshot, breathing heavily like an ox. "Impossible, impossible. Xiao Wu wouldn't leave me. I'm going to find her." Saying that, he was about to go look for Xiao Wu. But Yu Xiaogang stopped him. "Little San, come back." "Teacher." Tang San's eyes were filled with tears. Ever since his father left, Xiao Wu had been the most important person in his heart, even more important than Yu Xiaogang. "Xiao Wu most likely left last night. Where would you go to find her?" Yu Xiaogang sternly reprimanded him, then comforted him. "Perhaps Xiao Wu just went out for a walk to clear her head, and once she thinks things through, she'll come back on her own. Besides, it's class time now. It's not too late to look for her after class." The most urgent matter was to ask Ning Chuan how to obtain 2,000-year spirit rings and break through to level 30. Upon hearing this, Tang San reluctantly returned to his original spot. However, he had already come to hate Ning Chuan to death. It was all this scoundrel. If it weren't for Ning Chuan, Xiao Wu wouldn't have been hurt, nor would she have left him. Mubai is not feeling well and won't be attending classes for the next 2 days. The dean is out on business, so this year's opening ceremony will be presided over by me. Below, I have a few things to announce. Zhao Wuji lightly coughed and walked in front of the 6 students lined up, his gaze sternly sweeping over them. "First, let me introduce the academy's teachers. This is Teacher Lai Yusong, who manages finances. His spirit is the Dragon Pattern Staff, a 63rd level attack system spirit emperor. This is Teacher Liu Kibin. His spirit is the Star Luo Chess, a 66th level control system spirit emperor. This is Teacher Soul Saint Shaozin. His spirit is the Sugar Bean, a 71st level food system spirit saint." Zhao Wuji introduced the 3 Shrek teachers in one breath. When it came to Yu Xiaogang, he repeated what Flender had told him before leaving yesterday. "Finally, this is Mr. Yu Xiaogang, who, through his own research, derived the 10 core competencies of spirits, is hailed as the invincible master of spirit theory, the most intelligent being, and also a brother the dean has known for decades, as well as Tang San's teacher. From now on, you can call him Grandmaster." To be honest, Zhao Wuji was very reluctant to introduce him this way, but he had no choice. Flender had instructed him to unlike the original work, because of Tang San's poor performance, including Oscar and Ma Hongjun. Everyone in Shrek, more or less, looked down on Tang San deep down. And if Tang San could be taught like this, how good could Yu Xiaogang as a teacher be? Only Tang San held Yu Xiaogang in high regard. Zhao Wuji saw that everyone was not very impressed with Yu Xiaogang, but he didn't mind. Anyway, he had said what Flender had arranged, and whether he could subdue these little freaks depended on his own ability. He continued, "We just returned yesterday, so we'll give you a day off today. Starting tomorrow, your teaching will be fully handled by Grandmaster. Grandmaster, please say a few words." The last sentence was directed at Yu Xiaogang. Yu Xiaogang nodded, first putting on a profound and mysterious demeanor, rambling on for a long time, and then ranking everyone by age. Number 1, Dai Mubai. Number 2, Oscar. Number 3, Tang San. Number 4, Ma Hongjun. Number 5, Xiao Wu. Number 6, Ning Chuan. Number 7, Ning Rongrong. Number 8, Zhu Zhuqing. Finally, he said, "I will provide targeted training based on each of your individual circumstances. All right, now you can speak freely. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. Ning Chuan, didn't you say yesterday you had a few questions for me? Ask away, I'll answer you now." After speaking, he confidently looked at Ning Chuan, signaling him to ask his question. Ning Chuan smiled faintly. "Grandmaster, I presume you know that my 2nd spirit ring onwards has been a 1,000-year spirit ring. So for my 4th ring, I will most likely absorb a 10,000-year one. Are there any precautions I need to be aware of? Yu Xiaogang did not answer directly. Summon your spirit and show it to me. Upon hearing this, Ning Chuan directly summoned his azure bamboo bee cloud sword spirit and his 3 spirit rings. Yellow, purple, and purple. Chapter 67, Yu Xiaogang doubts life seeing Ning Chuan's spirit and spirit rings. Yu Xiaogang's eyes flashed with a hint of emotion and excitement for a moment, but he concealed it very well. He approached and scrutinized Ning Chuan's spirit, feeling the oppressive aura unique to a top-tier tool spirit from the azure bamboo bee cloud sword. Yu Xiaogang said indifferently, "Your spirit is the azure bamboo bee cloud sword." Originally, it was just a bamboo sword, but after attaching 3 strength-type overaged spirit rings, it has become very tough and is no worse than those top-tier tool spirits. I suggest you choose a 10,000-year man-faced demon spider for your 4th spirit ring. The man-faced demon spider's own spider legs are sharp enough, and they also contain corrosive venom. This can increase the sharpness of your spirit, provide toxicity, and help you better restrain your opponents. After speaking, Yu Xiaogang proudly closed his eyes, as if the image of everyone worshipping him had already appeared in his mind. But Ning Chuan's next answer made him drop his jaw. "That's it." Yu Xiaogang thought for a moment and added, "Of course, the difficulty of absorbing a 10,000-year spirit ring is incomparable to a 1,000-year spirit ring. This requires you to have strong enough physical fitness. This aspect is very important. Anything else?" Ning Chuan continued to ask. Hearing this, although Yu Xiaogang couldn't think of anything, he still pulled out some irrelevant things. In short, it was ambiguous, saying something that amounted to saying nothing. The other students were fine, but Zhao Wuji and the other Shrek teachers couldn't stand it, because Yu Xiaogang had overlooked the most crucial point of absorbing a 10,000-year spirit ring. Soul Saint Shaozin, a food system spirit saint who had previously looked after Dai Mubai with Yu Xiaogang, kindly reminded him, "Grandmaster, why don't you think again?" Hearing someone question himself, Yu Xiaogang's bad temper flared up at once. "Teacher Soul Saint Shaozin, are you questioning my theoretical knowledge?" But at this moment, Zhao Wuji couldn't help but interject, "No way, you don't even know about soul shock." Yu Xiaogang was stunned. Soul shock? He knew nothing about soul shock. How could someone who hadn't even absorbed a 1,000-year spirit ring know about soul shock, let alone a 10,000-year spirit ring? Ning Chuan chuckled inwardly, then explained. Soul shock refers to a special ability produced by high-level spirit beasts after death, before their souls dissipate. Only spirit beasts above 10,000 years will possess it. Soul shock will damage a person's mental world, and it is very likely to turn a person into an idiot. In addition, my first 3 spirit rings are not strength attributes. The first spirit ring is Soul Power Holy Wood, the second spirit ring is Thorn Turtle, and the third spirit ring is Shadow Splitting Rabbit. All are wood attributes, and they share the same origin as my azure bamboo bee cloud sword. As soon as these words came out, even with Yu Xiaogang's thick skin, his expression immediately turned ugly. Everyone, including Zhao Wuji and the others, cast suspicious glances at Yu Xiaogang. Facing everyone's suspicion, Yu Xiaogang's already ugly and stiff face immediately turned liver-colored. Ning Chuan continued, "Aren't you curious about how I broke through the level 30 bottleneck and obtained 2 1,000-year spirit rings? Well, I can tell you, and everyone else can listen." Hearing this, everyone's expressions immediately became serious. Even Tang Sen temporarily abandoned his hostility towards Ning Chuan, quietly awaiting his explanation. In my opinion, the evolution of a spirit is a process of energy replenishment. The weaker the spirit, the more energy replenishment it needs, and the essence of a spirit ring is energy. Of course, this spirit ring is not just absorbed randomly. Besides needing strong enough physical fitness, and considering the soul shock brought by a 10,000-year spirit ring, one also needs to consider the rejection reaction. For example, that so-called 10 core competencies of spirits of grandmasters, I've actually read it long ago. While it's not entirely useless, it's full of loopholes. When you summarize basic theories, just summarize them. Why do you have to add unnecessary things, like drawing a snake and adding feet? For example, your so-called spirit mimicry theory, can an animal spirit ring absorb a plant spirit ring? Of course it can. Conversely, a plant spirit ring absorbing an animal spirit ring is the same, but you didn't consider spirit ring rejection, or rather, you simply don't know about it. Let me give you an example. Tang San's spirit, blue silver grass, is a plant spirit. If you attach a spirit ring to him, suppose his first spirit ring's original tolerance limit is 500 years, but you insist on attaching an animal spirit ring to him to prove your so-called theory, then he might not even be able to absorb a 400-year spirit ring. Even if he barely succeeds in absorbing it, he will definitely suffer a huge risk. This is also one of the reasons why few people with plant spirits have absorbed animal spirit rings over thousands of years. It's not that they can't absorb them, but that there's no need to. Even if they do absorb them, they absorb some rarer wood-attributed animal spirit rings. And it is precisely based on this point that, while desperately training to improve my physical fitness as much as possible, I attached wood-attributed spirit rings of the same origin to my wood-attributed spirit. This allowed me to reach 600 years for my first spirit ring, and even 1,000 years for my second spirit ring, thus allowing my spirit to gradually complete its metamorphosis. In contrast, Grandmaster, the reason you have been unable to break through level 30 is not due to talent limitations, but because you are not diligent enough, because you gave up too early, because you took the wrong path from the beginning. It perfectly echoes the first point of your 10 core competencies of spirits. There are no useless spirits, only useless spirit masters. After listening to Ning Chuan's words, everyone suddenly understood. Their expressions varied. The Shrek teachers, one by one, wished they could take off their spirit rings and reabsorb spirit rings of the same attribute as their own spirits, hoping that they might have already entered a higher realm. Zhao Wuji, as the vice dean, was also like this, but compared to this, he was more curious about how Yu Zaya Agang, this so-called theoretical grandmaster, would explain himself. After all, Yu Zaya Agang's own cultivation was low, and now his theories were full of loopholes. He certainly wouldn't feel at ease in trusting this group of little freaks to such a person who was merely outwardly impressive. Even if Flender came, he would say the same thing. At this moment, Yu Zaya Agang was plunged into immense self-doubt and regret. Was he really wrong? Was he really a good-for-nothing? Subscribe for more books, Infinite Novel Audio. Compared to Yu Zaya Agang, the Shrek students' expressions were not so unsightly. Especially Ma Hongjun and Ning Rongrong, who seemed to see hope in Ning Chuan for resolving the evil fire and for the 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda spirit to advance to Spirit Douluo, and even titled Douluo. The look in Ning Chuan's eyes, besides excitement, was only longing and admiration. Among them, the dangerous sprout in Ning Rongrong's heart quietly emerged without her even realizing it. Zhu Zhuqing's gaze towards Ning Chuan was almost dripping. This was her man. Besides being powerful, his wisdom was also unparalleled. As for everyone else, they finally understood why Ning Chuan, despite having only half a level of innate spirit power, cultivated so quickly. Chapter 68, Ning Chuan vs. Tang, and it turned out that Ning Chuan had long ago planned out his cultivation path. Compared to him, what kind of grandmaster was Yu Zaya Agang? He was probably just a grandmaster. Only Ning Chuan could truly be called a grandmaster. However, Yu Zaya Agang did say one thing correctly. There are only useless spirit masters, not useless spirits. Yu Zaya Agang himself was a useless person. And was Ning Chuan really being kind by saying so much? At first listen, it seemed very reasonable, but it only applied to those with low-quality spirits. Looking at the entire Shrek Academy, only Tang San's Blue Silver Grass and Yu Zaya Agang's Luo San Pao were suitable. For those with higher quality spirits, its effect was negligible or even useless. Because when your spirit quality reaches a certain level, continuing to enhance this so-called energy will not lead to any evolution. Also, what he said was simple, but without Tang Rishan, that power bank, no one would have the capital to try it. And a super high-grade spirit ring meant risk. Once one exploded and died, everything would be gone. He was just using these words to show off and, incidentally, explain the reason for his rapid increase in spirit power and absorption of super-grade spirit rings. Most importantly, he knew that Tang San, who deeply believed in Yu Zaya Agang's theories, would not believe anything he said. In Tang San's perception, Yu Zaya Agang's theory was correct. Otherwise, how could this blue-silver grass have cultivated to its current level? It just so happened that Ning Chuan found a loophole. After all, Yu Zaya Agang had never absorbed a 10,000-year spirit ring, so it was understandable that he didn't know about soul tremors. Ning Chuan looked at Yu Zaya Agang and said, "Grandmaster, it's not that I doubt you, but you don't even know about soul tremors, and your spirit theories are full of loopholes. Do you really have the ability to teach us?" As the words fell, just as Ning Chuan had predicted. Seeing his teacher being put on the spot by Ning Chuan and unable to respond, Tang San could no longer hold back. The anger that had accumulated in his heart for a long time burst out. "Ning Chuan, what do you mean?" "I'm just stating the facts." Ning Chuan spread his hands, looking indifferent. "Ning Chuan, you insult my teacher. No matter what, I will get justice for my teacher today." Tang San's gaze towards Ning Chuan became increasingly dangerous until he unreservedly released his killing intent. Ning Chuan said indifferently, "What? Are you going to resort to violence when you can't win with words? If so, then bring it on. I want to see how capable you, with your so-called innate full spirit power, are after being taught by a grandmaster who doesn't even know about soul tremors and only plagiarizes theories." Zhao Wuji had long been displeased with this useless Yu Zaya Agang. He had just arrived and slandered his most outstanding student at Shrek for taking drugs. After learning that Ning Chuan had broken through to Spirit Elder and possessed 2,000-year spirit rings, he immediately changed his tune. His calculations were loud and clear, but they couldn't fool him. Zhao Wuji said in a businesslike manner, "The Academy has always encouraged combat. Since you have differences, you can naturally resolve them according to the rules of the Spirit Master's world." Then he looked at Ning Chuan again. "Ning Chuan, Tang San wants to challenge you now. Are you willing to accept the challenge? If he thinks that me asking a question that his teacher can't answer and me pointing out the mistake is an insult, then I'll just consider it an insult. As for accepting the challenge, why wouldn't I dare?" Ning Chuan sneered. Zhu Zhuqing said coldly, "Unable to even admit the most basic mistakes, he's nothing but a coward." Exactly. He makes mistakes and isn't allowed to be told. No wonder Xiao Wu said he was a liar who only knew how to freeload. Ning Rongrong spoke up in agreement. Ma Hongjun naturally also chose to stand on Ning Chuan's side. He still wanted Ning Chuan to help him resolve his evil fire, so his words were even more venomous. He added, "Tang San, you repeatedly soiled your pants in the Stardew Great Forest before. Could it be because this Grandmaster made you absorb animal spirit rings, causing side effects like mine? My side effect is evil fire, and your side effect is defecation. I think you'd better not challenge Boss Ning. It wouldn't look good to soil your pants again in public." Only Oscar remained silent. However, he looked at Tang San thoughtfully, pondering the truthfulness of Ma Hongjun's words. And indeed, it might actually be true. Invisibly, Tang San had already begun to suffer ostracism, just like Oscar before. As for Yu Zaya Agang, ever since Ning Chuan raised his doubts, he hadn't said another word. His fists, hidden in his sleeves, were tightly clenched, and he wore a look of despondency and frustration. Had Tang San not stepped forward at the critical moment, he would have already run away without a sound, just as he did when facing his Uncle Yu Luomian's insults on his wedding night with Liu Erlong, the kind that never reappears. Enough nonsense. Tang San's spirit, blue silver grass, 31st level control system battle Soul Grandmaster. Tang San ignored the others. 2 yellow and 1 purple spirit rings rose from beneath his feet, and blue light surged from his body. He summoned his spirit. After the transformation, by the 3rd spirit ring, the slightly thinner blue-silver grass quietly extended from beneath his feet, slowly raising his right hand into a fist towards Ning Chuan, who had already summoned his spirit. Tang San said with a cold expression, "Ning Chuan, today I will prove to you that my teacher's theory is correct. Right is right, and wrong is wrong. If you insist on believing him, I have nothing to say. Go ahead and make your move," Ning Chuan said with an unchanging expression. Seeing that the two were about to fight, everyone quickly moved aside, clearing a larger combat area for them. Zhuking knew Ning Chuan's strength, so she didn't stop them. She just looked at Tang San with much colder eyes. "Ning Chuan, make your move." Tang San adopted a fighting stance. But Ning Chuan remained unmoved, simply looking at Tang San calmly. "It seems you don't take me seriously at all, but it doesn't matter. I will let you witness my true strength." Tang San's 1st spirit ring lit up, and hundreds of vines surged out, rushing towards Ning Chuan from all directions. Ning Chuan stood still. He simply waved his sword lightly, and Tang San's blue-silver grass's 1st spirit ability, Binding, was thus broken. At the same time, he didn't forget to add, "Blue-silver grass is a plant spirit belonging to wood. You were greedy for temporary convenience and added a poison attribute spirit ring to the blue-silver grass spirit. This is already putting the cart before the horse. Sooner or later, your cultivation speed will slow down, and you will be surpassed by Zhuking, Rongrong, Fatty, and others, until your spirit power can no longer advance an inch. Shut up." Seeing the blue-silver grass, which had been enhanced by the 3rd spirit ring's attribute, being cut open by Ning Chuan as if it were tofu, and hearing his mockery, Tang San was furious. He channeled more spirit power and swept it towards Ning Chuan again. At the same moment, a blue light sphere was thrown from Tang San's hand. Ning Chuan was all too familiar with Tang San's 3rd spirit ability, Spider Web Restraint, let alone a weakened version. He just quietly watched as the blue light sphere transformed into a spider web with a diameter of over 5 meters. Chapter 69, Ning Fengzhai is here just as the spider web was only 10 feet away from him. Ning Chuan, with an upward slash and 2 diagonal cuts, easily split Tang San's 3rd spirit ability. The spider web shattered into fragments of varying sizes, scattering and falling to the ground. It was split open again. The continuous breaking of his blue-silver grass caused Tang San to suffer a backlash, his face turning pale and his pupils suddenly contracted. He knew that his 3rd spirit ability had doubled the toughness of his blue-silver grass. It would have been one thing if Ning Chuan had used a spirit ability, but it was merely Sword Kai he casually released. His 2nd spirit ability, Parasite, didn't even get a chance to be used because he couldn't get close to Ning Chuan at all. "That's enough, Tang San. Your blue-silver grass can't do anything to Ning Chuan. You've already lost." Zhao Wuji, worried that Tang San might get hurt and thus attract Tang Rishan, promptly called a stop. "No, Teacher Zhao, I haven't lost yet." Tang San clearly couldn't accept the fact that he had lost. At this moment, he recalled a line from the general outline of the mysterious Heaven Treasure record. "Never try to play the pig to eat the tiger, or you might really turn into a pig." Ever since he came to Shrek Academy, apart from dealing with the Titan giant ape late at night once, he had always hidden his hidden weapons, giving the Shrek everyone the impression that he was very weak. Now, looking back, he was filled with regret. If he had shown his true strength from the beginning, then Grandmaster wouldn't have been so humiliated by Ning Chuan in front of everyone. The notion that spirit evolution is just a process of energy replenishment was all nonsense. He also didn't consider, If blue-silver grass, such a useless spirit, didn't absorb spirit rings according to Grandmaster's plan, could it have any offensive power? And Xiao Wu, if it weren't for this Ning Chuan fellow, Xiao Wu wouldn't have left. Thinking of this, Tang Sen disregarded whether Zhao Wuji agreed or not, suddenly raised his head, purple light bursting from his eyes, while his hands were covered with a layer of translucent white. He used purple demon eye and mysterious jade hand. His hands slowly reached into the 24 moonlit bridges at his waist. Ning Chuan's eyes also narrowed slightly. He had long been prepared for Tang San's hidden weapons, and had even done many targeted trainings to deal with Tang San's so-called hidden weapons. Now it was time to experience them properly. Just as Tang San was about to make his move, a sudden voice interrupted him. "Stop, Tang San, you are not Ning Chuan's match." As the words fell, no one, including Zhao Wuji, saw clearly, but a giant flying sword had already appeared in the arena. Standing at the very front of the flying sword was an old man in white robes. He controlled the flying sword to slowly descend. Behind him was a refined middle-aged man who bore some resemblance to Ning Rongrong, and Shrek Academy's Dean Flender stood at the very back. It was he who had just spoken to stop them. As soon as the three landed, Ning Rongrong ran directly to the old man in white, throwing herself into his arms. "Grandpa Sword, I missed you so much, woo-woo." Ning Rongrong was still a young girl after all. Having suffered so much grievance at Shrek, and just having experienced life and death in the Stardew Great Forest, seeing her family, she immediately burst into tears. Sword Douluo quickly and tenderly stroked her little head. "Good girl, my little princess, did someone bully you? Tell Grandpa Sword. Grandpa Sword will avenge you." Ning Rongrong had only been away from home for half a month. It was impossible for her to cry so pitifully upon seeing him. In Sword Douluo's view, someone must have bullied her. As soon as these words came out, everyone looked at each other, and Flender and Oscar, in particular, clearly felt guilty, as both of them had offended Ning Rongrong. At this moment, facing the wrath of a titled Douluo, they couldn't bear it. Even Tang San was no exception. Although he hadn't bullied Ning Rongrong like Flender, nor had he offended Ning Rongrong as thoroughly as Oscar, he had certainly excluded her quite a bit back then. Ning Fengzhai saw everyone's reactions and chuckled softly. In reality, the three of them had already arrived when Ning Chuan refuted Yu Xiaogang. Flender wanted to interrupt them to spare Yu Xiaogang embarrassment, but Ning Fengzhai refused. Hiding in the shadows, Ning Fengzhai wanted to see just how outstanding this young man was, and also to hear how he had absorbed a spirit ring beyond his age limit. At this point, he learned from Ning Chuan about the process of absorbing a spirit ring beyond the age limit, and how he had easily broken all of Tang San's spirit abilities. Only then did Ning Fengzhai reveal himself and stop the fight between Tang San and Ning Chuan. Seeing Flender, Tang San, and Oscar show guilty expressions, he immediately knew that the three of them must have been involved in bullying Ning Rongrong. However, the main purpose of this visit was to recruit Ning Chuan. Now, seeing that all the Shrek students, despite their young age, had cultivation levels close to a spirit elder, he couldn't help but consider recruiting them. Ahem. Ning Fengzhai lightly coughed and said, "All right, Uncle Sword, it's normal for children to have some conflicts. Please don't make things difficult for them." Then he looked at Yu Xiaogang, this clown who had been refuted into worthlessness by Ning Chuan. Ning Fengzhai showed no disdain on his face, still maintaining that amiable smile. "What a coincidence, Grandmaster, you're here too." Seeing that Ning Fengzhai had no intention of blaming them, Flender and the other two simultaneously breathed a sigh of relief. "Sect Master Ning, Sword Douluo." Yu Xiaogang cupped his fists towards them, and also didn't forget to look at Flender. Seeing the other party's helpless expression, he knew that his recent embarrassment had been witnessed by the two. The fist inside his sleeve tightened further. He wished he could find a hole to crawl into. All of this was Ning Chuan's fault. If it weren't for that fellow, he wouldn't have been so humiliated. Sword Douluo snorted coldly. ignoring him. Clearly, he fully agreed with Ning Chuan's previous words and felt that Yu Xiaogang was misleading students. Although Ning Fengzhai also thought so, he didn't show it. He then greeted Zhao Wuji, Seoul St. Shaozin, and the other Shrek teachers one by one. Finally, holding Ning Rongrong's hand, he walked in front of Ning Chuan and the others. "Hello, little friends of Shrek Academy." Seeing Ning Fengzhai greet them, Tang San, Ma Hongjun, Oscar, and Zhuking all cupped their fists in salute, and Ning Chuan was no exception. Ning Fengzhai smiled and said, "No need to be polite. For now, I am just Rongrong's father. Don't treat me as a sect master, I am just your elder now." Ning Fengzhai's approachable nature undoubtedly increased Tang San and the others' favorability towards him. Presumably, only Ning Chuan knew he was a wolf in sheep's clothing. However, since they were all getting what they wanted, he didn't feel there was anything wrong with it. Ning Fengzhai's gaze fell on Ning Chuan, and he smiled slightly, saying to Ning Rongrong, "Rongrong, aren't you going to introduce your friends to me?" Ning Rongrong's gaze swept over Ning Chuan and the four others. When her eyes met Ning Chuan's, her heart couldn't help but flutter with a hint of panic. However, upon seeing Zhuking beside Ning Chuan, a subtle hint of disappointment flashed in her eyes. Chapter 70, What is Lu Xiaoqian's Behavior? Ning Rongrong introduced. "Dad, this is Ning Chuan, the strongest student in our Shrek school. His spirit is the top tool spirit, Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword. He's a level 33 attack system battle soul grandmaster. You've already seen his spirit and spirit rings. Although he's only less than a month older than me, he is absolutely invincible among spirit elder-level cultivators." Ning Chuan showed no emotional change due to Ning Fengzhai's identity. He looked directly at the schoolmaster Ning and said, "Greetings, Schoolmaster Ning. 12 years and 3 months old, level 33, and he even possesses 2,000-year spirit rings." What Rongrong said in her letter was actually true, and there was also that unprecedented yet refreshing spirit master theory just now. He truly is a little freak. Ning Fengzhai did not hide his admiration. "I saw your battle with the other young friend just now. Your spirit is quite outstanding, and your spirit ring configuration and understanding of your spirit are even more astonishing. Little Chuan, may I address you as such? You are an elder and Rongrong's father, so of course you may." Ning Chuan nodded, though he didn't particularly like the address. Ning Fengzhai smiled. "It seems I'm benefiting from Rongrong. Little Chuan, in the future, don't call me schoolmaster, just call me Uncle Ning. Or rather, I hope you call me that. Uncle Ning." Ning Chuan called out, then fell silent, waiting for the other party to continue. Ning Fengzhai's smile grew even wider. "Rongrong mentioned you in her letter to me. Sword Elder and I are very grateful for your rescue in the Stardew Great Forest. Otherwise, Rongrong would have been in danger. So, regarding Rongrong's request for Sword Elder to guide your swordsmanship, Sword Elder has already agreed, and he is very happy to guide a swordsmanship prodigy like you. Plus, with your performance just now and that theory, with what you possess at your age, I dare say that even the youngest titled Douluo on the continent can't compare." Ning Rongrong suddenly interjected. "Dad, at what age did that youngest titled Douluo enter the titled Douluo realm?" 44 years old. Why?" Ning Fengzhai was taken aback. Ning Rongrong glanced at Flender and lightly snorted. Someone even claimed that a titled Douluo emerged from Shrek School's graduates, who has now become an elder in Spirit Hall, second only to the Supreme Pontiff. Shrek School has only been operating for 20 years, and the admission age cannot exceed 13. To be able to boast about a titled Douluo who is at most 32 years old, how shameless. Upon hearing this, Flender, Zhao Wuji, and the other Shrek teachers all awkwardly lowered their heads, almost wanting to dig a 3-bedroom, 1-living-room hole. At the same time, Zhao Wuji, Seoul St. Shaozin, and the others cursed Flender inwardly. This scoundrel, of all the things to brag about, he had to brag about a Spirit Hall elder coming out of Shrek School. He didn't even consider that Spirit Hall elders are all titled Douluo. Is that something a person can achieve? It seems the little demoness has a lot of resentment towards Flender. Ning Fengzhai scanned Flender and the other Shrek teachers. How could he not understand what was going on? Yet, he didn't pay too much attention, as he had indeed sent a letter to Flender beforehand, asking him to help discipline the little demoness. Ning Fengzhai continued the previous topic. Little Chuan, frankly, my visit this time, besides being invited by Headmaster Flender to treat that Shrek student's injuries, and bringing Sword Elder to guide you, is also for you. I am prepared to spare no effort to invite you to join the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. Whether it's spirit bone, future spirit ring acquisition, or wealth, I can satisfy you. Furthermore, if you and Rongrong can fall in love in the future, I can even betroth Rongrong to you. As soon as these words were spoken, Ning Rongrong's face immediately flushed with shyness. While feeling nervous and uneasy, she couldn't help but secretly glance at Ning Chuan, anticipating his response. Zhu Zhuqing instinctively stepped forward and tightly hugged Ning Chuan's arm. As for the others, they were already dumbfounded. This schoolmaster Ning truly had a grand gesture. The previous conditions were one thing, but he could even say something like betrothing Rongrong to Ning Chuan. However, looking at Ning Rongrong's lovesick expression, anyone with eyes could tell that Ning Rongrong had a different kind of affection for Ning Chuan. Oscar was roaring in his heart. Why? Zhu Zhuqing and Xiao Wu are one thing, but why does even Rongrong have a good impression of Ning Chuan? Ning Chuan was also stunned after hearing Ning Fengzhai's words. Sensing Zhu Zhuqing's tense nerves beside him, Ning Chuan gave her a reassuring look. For a beautiful, intelligent, and talented woman like Rongrong, I don't think any man wouldn't be tempted. However, Uncle Ning, you've also seen that I already have a girlfriend. I can't abandon her, can I? I can't do Zhuqing wrong. As for joining a sect, after graduation, Zhuqing and I will travel the continent for a few years. After our training, if Uncle Ning doesn't mind, we will consider joining. Ning Chuan's strategy was to neither refuse nor agree, emphasizing that he would take his things, drink his things, use his things but not work for him. If one had to describe it in 4 words, it would be procrastinate. However, his simple words made Ning Rongrong overjoyed. She held her flushed cheeks, her face filled with intoxication. Intelligent, beautiful. No man wouldn't be tempted. Am I really that good? And he even planned to join the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School in the future. Good, the doors of my 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School will always be open for you and Zhuqing. Ning Fengzhai also smiled. As he spoke, he took out a token engraved with a pagoda. This is a token from my 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. If you encounter any difficulties in the future, you can present it. I believe that across the continent, there are few forces that would dare to disrespect my 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. He wasn't disappointed, or rather, the outcome was better than expected. After all, no genius would rashly join a sect right away. Moreover, listening to Ning Chuan's words, the other party seemed to intend to join the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School after their travels, and also held a certain fondness for Rongrong. Furthermore, if Ning Chuan could advance to title Douluo in the future, and Rongrong got along with this girl named Zhuqing, he wouldn't mind if Rongrong and this girl named Zhuqing shared one husband. Ultimately, the interests of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School were above all else. At this moment, Ning Rongrong had already reacted. She pointed at Zhu Zhuqing and continued to introduce. Dad, this is Ning Chuan's girlfriend and also my good sister, Zhu Zhuqing. Her spirit is the Hell Sivet, a level 27 agility attack system sole grandmaster. She's the youngest in our Shrek school. She's still a month shy of turning 12. Surname Zhu, Hell Sivet, and so young yet already close to spirit elder cultivation. Wouldn't such talent be arranged for a marriage alliance with the star Luo imperial family? How could she? Wait, that Shrek student who needed treatment seemed to be named Dai Mubai. Surname Dai. In an instant, Ning Fengzhai seemed to understand everything. Chapter 71, The Reason Why Tang Sun Turned Black. However, he didn't expose it. Instead, he smiled mysteriously at Zhu Zhuking and said, "You and Ning Chuan are both Rongrong's friends. From now on, just call me Uncle Ning. If there's anything you need from the 7-treasure glazed tile school, feel free to come to the sect and find me." "Thank you, Uncle Ning," Zhu Zhuking replied politely. "Ma Hongjun, we all call him Fatty. He's a level 28 attack system Soul Grandmaster. His spirit is a chicken. Oh no, it should be the evil fire phoenix. Tang-san, his spirit is Blue Silver Grass, a level 31 control system battle Soul Grandmaster." Next, Ning Rongrong briefly introduced Ma Hongjun and Tang-san, highlighting the clear difference in treatment. When it was Oscar's turn, perhaps to leave a good impression on Ning Fengzhai, he stepped forward and introduced himself. "Uncle Ning, hello, my name is Oscar. I'm 14 years old. My spirit is Sausage, a level 31 food system spirit elder." A 14-year-old food system spirit elder, and a meat type one at that, his talent was indeed very high. Ning Fengzhai nodded, but he wasn't as surprised as in the original work. After all, Oscar had been slacking off all these years. Without immortal herbs, his achievements might be higher than Soul Saint Shao Zin's, but not by much. It would be good if he could advance to Spirit Douluo. Titled Douluo was absolutely impossible. Before Ning Fengzhai could reply, Oscar eagerly spoke again. "Sect Master Ning, I'm also a support system spirit master. I've always admired you. I wonder if I could join your sect after graduation. PFFT. Ma Hongjun next to him couldn't help but laugh, thinking to himself, "You've got a good plan, but unfortunately, Rongrong doesn't like you at all." Of course. What my 7-treasure glazed tile school needs most are talents like little brother Oscar, and little brothers Ma Hongjun and Tang San are the same. The doors of my 7-treasure glazed tile school are always open for you. Ning Fengzhai was overjoyed. A food system spirit master with the potential to become a spirit duoluo would be of immense help to the 7-treasure glazed tile school. Hearing that Oscar wanted to join the 7-treasure glazed tile school, Ning Rongrong didn't throw a tantrum. Let him join if he wants. Anyway, she wouldn't bother with him, and from the beginning, the two of them were impossible. The partners of direct disciples of the 7-treasure glazed tile school could only be battle soul masters, just like Ning Chuan. Thinking of this, Ning Rongrong couldn't help but secretly glance at Ning Chuan again, regretting that she had been too reserved and Zhuking had gotten there first. Without an accident, Zhuking must have fallen for Ning Chuan after he rescued them from the Titan giant ape. If she had made a move earlier, perhaps she would be the one standing with Ning Chuan now. She continued to introduce to Ning Fengzhai. Besides them, Shrek also has 2 other students, one named Xiao Wu and one named Dai Mubai. Xiao Wu should have already left. As for Dai Mubai. Needless to say, Ning Fengzhai understood, because Ning Rongrong had already clearly stated it in her letter. Dai Mubai had ruined himself in the red light district and became an eunuch. At this moment, Flender walked over. Seeing that Ning Fengzhai had almost finished getting acquainted with everyone, he respectfully said, "Sect Master Ning, what do you think?" "Then I'll trouble Headmaster Flender to take me over," Ning Fengzhai said. A moment later, everyone arrived at Dai Mubai's dormitory door. Accompanied by Flender, Ning Fengzhai walked in, followed by a burst of colorful light filling the room. A flash of colorful light shimmered inside the dormitory. Seeing that her father wouldn't be finished so quickly, and having nothing else to do, Ning Rongrong asked a question about spirits. "Ning Chuan, you said before that Tang San chose wrongly by absorbing a poison attribute spirit ring, and should have chosen a wood attribute or something similar. Was the frequent diarrhea in the Stardew Great Forest also caused by a spirit side effect?" Upon hearing this, the others also became interested. Even Tang San himself was deep in thought. Although he was very angry and didn't believe Ning Chuan's nonsense, and even wanted to kill Ning Chuan if Sword Douluo wasn't there, the diarrhea had indeed come out of nowhere. As for Yu Zaya Agang, he had already fallen into self-doubt, his face utterly dejected. Ning Chuan shook his head and said, This cannot be confirmed for now. After all, in my impression, Tang Sen has never experienced such a situation. This symptom only appeared when he was about to break through level 30. Of course, it cannot be ruled out that it's because I had less contact with him. However, I am 70 to 80% sure that his skin is due to the poison attribute spirit ring. Skin. Everyone was stunned and looked at Tang San in unison. Indeed, he was a bit too dark. You mean he's poisoned? Sword Douluo also became interested upon hearing this. It can't be called poisoning, it's just an insignificant side effect, and it doesn't endanger his life. Ning Chuan continued to bluff. The first time I saw Tang San was when he awakened his spirit. At that time, he wasn't as dark as he is now. But after awakening his spirit, especially after hunting spirit rings, he became darker and darker. It's not ruled out that this is influenced by the toxicity of the spirit ring itself. However, it's fortunate that blue-silver grass is not a beast spirit. Otherwise, with frequent spirit possession, the venom would have already eroded his body by now, instead of just floating on the surface as it is. So that's how it is. Sword Douluo suddenly understood. Ma Hongjun clicked his tongue and said, "No wonder Meng Yuren of the dragon-snake family mistakenly thought Tang San's spirit was a black bear. So he was poisoned. Not just him, but everyone else, including the Shrek teachers, believed it. Even Tang San himself looked thoughtful. Could it be that I turned into this charcoal-like appearance because of the poison attribute spirit ring and the diarrhea?" Thinking of this, Tang San subconsciously looked at Yu Zaya Agang with a suspicious look in his eyes. Facing his disciples' questioning, Yu Zaya Agang felt as if his heart was being twisted. At this moment, he couldn't describe how much he wanted to run away, but he knew he couldn't run. If he ran, he would very likely lose Tang San as a disciple. Creak, just as Yu Zaya Agang was thinking about how to gloss over it, Dai Mubai's dormitory door opened. Ning Fengjai walked out slowly, his left hand holding the 7-treasure scepter, his right hand holding the 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda, with 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 3 black spirit rings swirling around him. He shook his head and said, "If he had come to me immediately after the incident, there might have been a chance to save him, but now that part of him is completely necrotic and already showing signs of decay, there's nothing I can do." "Mubai, you were so foolish." Flender sighed, angry at his lack of effort while also feeling deep regret. If he had approached Ning Rongrong earlier, Dai Mubai's thing could have been saved. Zhao Wuji said, "What's done is done and cannot be undone. Flender, while Sect Master Ning is still here, make a decisive decision. That way, Mubai will suffer less and recover sooner." "That's all we can do," Flender sighed helplessly. "Sect Master Ning, I'll have to trouble you again to remove the decayed flesh from Mubai." Chapter 72, Minister Counselor Dai No Matter. Ning Fengjai said with a faint smile, then seriously added, "But we must be quick. Otherwise, if we delay a few more days, I'm afraid his life will be in danger." "I know," Flender nodded, looking at Ning Chuan. "Ning Chuan, you have a broad knowledge base, so you will perform the surgery." Ning Chuan was overjoyed, but on the surface, he remained calm. "Dean, theory and practice are different. I have never done such a thing before. Why not let Tang San do it? His blue-silver grass has neurotoxins that can paralyze Dai Mubai's senses, reducing his pain. He can completely perform the surgery." Tang San glared at Ning Chuan with hatred in his eyes but did not refuse. He just looked at Flender and said, "Dean, after the surgery is over, please allow all the teachers and me to go find Zaya Wu." "Don't worry, Zaya Wu is also a student of our Shrek. We will definitely find her." "Fatty, use your evil fire to prepare a basin of hot water." Ning Chuan turned his gaze to Ma Hongjun. "Big brother Ning, just watch me." After Ma Hongjun left, Ning Chuan looked at Soul Saint Shao Xin again. "Teacher Soul Saint Shao Xin, you and Oscar, prepare candy beans and sausage for Dai Mubai." A long while later, Ma Hongjun brought over the hot water. Tang San took out a willow leaf-shaped dagger and performed the surgery. He also released his blue-silver grass to handle the paralysis. Seoul Saint Xiao Xin and Oscar prepared the recovery candy beans and recovery sausage. Ning Fengzhai finished up, using his 7 treasures true body, activating his 6th spirit ability, Light of Healing, and his 4th spirit ability, Light of Amplification. Half an hour later, the surgery was successfully completed. Under Ning Chuan's command, Tang Sen kindly cut off all the flesh from Dai Mubai's lower region, leaving it completely bare, under the dual effects of the Light of Healing and Light of Amplification. Dai Mubai's lower region wounds slowly closed, not even needing feathers inserted. He just needed to be bandaged, then take Seoul Saint Xiao Xin's candy beans and Oscar's sausage, and rest for 2 or 3 days. With a Spirit Master's natural recovery ability, he would be able to move normally again. At this moment, Dai Mubai finally woke up from the immense pain that had lasted 7 or 8 days, regaining consciousness. Currently, Dai Mubai's lower region was tightly wrapped in bandages by Tang San, and he was covered with a thick quilt. When he opened his eyes, the bedside was already surrounded by people. There was Ning Fengzhai Flender, Sword Douluo, as well as Ning Chuan, Zhu Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar, and also Seoul Saint Xiao Xin. As for Yu Zaya Agang, Lai Yusong, Lu Kibin, and Zhao Wuji, they had all gone with Tang San to find Zaya Wu at his request. "You're awake." Seeing Dai Mubai awaken, Flender quickly stepped forward and carefully helped him up, placing a pillow under his head. Ning Rongrong, on the other hand, curved her lips into a mischievous and playful smile, adding, "Congratulations, you've become a girl." A girl. Dai Mubai had just woken up and didn't understand what was happening. He only remembered that, after losing the Spirit Arena match to Ning Chuan in Soto City that day, he had seemingly lost his mind at the club, dragging the madam and a dozen or so grass nest phoenixes into battle for an entire day and night. After that, he lost consciousness, only vaguely remembering that Dean Flender seemed to have brought him back. These past few days, someone had been feeding him things and relieving his pain. Hearing Ning Rongrong's words, Dai Mubai still didn't understand what was going on. Then he heard Flender say, "Mubai, this time it's all thanks to Rongrong's father, Schoolmaster Ning. If he hadn't personally intervened, I'm afraid you would have been in danger this time." At this time, Dai Mubai had not yet recovered from the paralyzing effects of Tang San's neurotoxin and did not feel that anything was missing from his lower body. Hearing Flender mention Schoolmaster Ning, he immediately expressed his gratitude to Ning Fengzhai by the bed. "Thank you, Schoolmaster Ning. No matter, rest well. With Teacher Seoul Saint Xiao Xin's candy beans, you should be able to fully recover in 2 or 3 days." Ning Fengzhai had a kind smile on his face, but inwardly, he had no intention of trying to win over the other party again, because he knew that Dai Mubai was crippled and would never have a chance at the throne again. He had no investment value. What awaited him was a bleak future. Dai Mubai nodded upon hearing this, still wanting to say something, but upon seeing Zhu Zhuqing holding Ning Chuan's arm nearby, he instantly exploded. "Zhu Zhuqing, do you know what you're doing?" He spoke angrily and weakly, trying to get up, but found that he couldn't exert any strength throughout his body. "You have your choice, and I also have the right to pursue my own happiness." Zhu Zhuqing didn't give Dai Mubai any good face, turning her gaze to Ning Chuan, her expression instantly softening like a melting iceberg. She looked sideways and said, "Ning Chuan, let's go." Ning Chuan nodded with a smile, then looked at Dai Mubai and said, "Mubai, you can rest and recover in peace. I will take good care of Zhuqing from now on, so you can rest assured. Uncle Ning, Senior Sword Douluo, I'll wait for you outside." With that said, Ning Chuan turned and left the room with Zhu Zhuqing. However, if he hadn't said those words, it would have been fine, but saying them made Dai Mubai's lungs almost explode with rage, his eyes practically spitting fire. "Zhu Zhuqing, you slut, how dare you betray me? And Ning Chuan, how dare you steal my fiancé? You 2 dogs, I want you to die a horrible death." "Ah." Dai Mubai struggled to get up, and as a result, accidentally caused his wound to reopen. Just at this moment, the paralyzing effect of Tang San's neurotoxin had almost worn off, and Dai Mubai instantly gasped, reaching down to touch. It was bare there and burning with pain. Dai Mubai turned pale with fright. It's gone. Everyone was still immersed in the fact that Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing had an engagement. Hearing this, uncharitable smiles appeared on their faces. Ning Rongrong, in a tone that would infuriate someone to death, said, "Otherwise, what did you think? You ran off to the red light district and played so wildly, and now you're crippled. Who's to blame? It's already good enough that you managed to keep your life." Ning Rongrong, you. Dai Mubai wanted to get angry, but upon seeing Sword Douluo's sharp gaze, he swallowed the words that were on the tip of his tongue. "All right, Rongrong, that's enough." Ning Fengzhai glared at his daughter. Although he also wanted to laugh, due to his dignity as a sect master, he couldn't. He then turned to Flender and said, "Dean Flender, we may be troubling you for a few days. Please arrange some lodging." He intended to use these few days to win over Ning Chuan and the people from Shrek. "Haha, no problem. Our Shrek Academy has nothing else, but we have plenty of houses." Flender readily agreed. When Ning Fengzhai and the other two walked out of the dormitory, Ning Chuan and Zhu Zhuqing were already waiting outside. Sword Douluo said nothing unnecessary, directly telling Ning Chuan to go into the nearby small forest first and get ready. After that, he would go in. In the dense forest, Sword Douluo held his left hand behind his back, his right hand holding his sword pointed diagonally at the ground. His pupils were deep, and he wore a long robe with a white and green base. The sleeves of his attire had wrist guard designs, and the belt around his waist was a Chinese-style woven design, giving him the demeanor of a chivalrous hero. Chapter 73, 7 Killing Sword Techniques. A cool breeze blew, and the rustling of leaves echoed through the jungle. Sword Douluo stood quietly in the dense forest, a dark shadow flickering indistinctly around him. Suddenly, a bone-chilling sword manifestation emerged from all directions, accompanied by the sound of cracking and breaking leaves. "There's killing intent." Sword Douluo's eyes narrowed slightly. The next second, a large tree, about a meter thick, behind him and to his right, was severed and crashed towards him. Sword Douluo swiftly turned and darted out, his right hand, shaped into a sword finger, transformed into a translucent green light sword and swiped. With a horizontal right slash, the large tree was split into two, its cut surfaces smooth and flat like mirrors, flying to either side, revealing Ning Chuan's familiar figure. His eyes flickered with a cold sword manifestation. His first spirit ring lit up, and he brought his sword down with both hands. A 7 to 8 meter long green light sword, larger than Sword Douluo and formed from sword manifestation, was blocked by Sword Douluo. At this moment, Ning Chuan's third spirit ring lit up, and his entire being became a translucent green. A nearly identical translucent green figure flashed out from behind Ning Chuan, holding a sword and thrusting it at Sword Douluo's armpit, aiming for a vital spot. Sword Douluo instinctively wanted to lean back to dodge the translucent green figure's sword edge. However, he suddenly felt an extremely dangerous aura behind him, forcing him to not only lean back to dodge Ning Chuan's first clone's sneak attack, but also to pivot his sword and swing it backward, perfectly blocking Ning Chuan's second clone's sneak attack. At this moment, Ning Chuan's main body, along with his two clones, had all made their moves. This round of attacks would likely be enough to severely wound or even instantly defeat any spirit master below the Spirit King level. But unfortunately, he encountered Sword Douluo, whose combat experience was extremely rich. Without even summoning his spirit, he blocked all of Ning Chuan's attacks with just the light sword formed from his spirit power. Then, with a sudden burst of power, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black spirit rings flashed out, and a violent sword kai burst forth from his body, breaking free from the light sword formed by Ning Chuan's first spirit ability. After the smoke and dust dispersed, Ning Chuan and his 2 clones appeared opposite Sword Douluo. Not bad. For your age and cultivation, whether it's strength, speed, or combat experience, you are impeccable. That combined attack just now, I'm afraid few at the Spirit King level could withstand it. It seems you've truly undergone cruel training beyond what ordinary people can imagine, and that killing intent. Have you already killed someone? The light sword in his hand receded, and Sword Douluo looked at Ning Chuan with full admiration. That's right. I've participated in many life and death battles in the great spirit arena of various cities. The third spirit ability, Sword Shadow, was deactivated. The green light on Ning Chuan's body receded, and the two clones transformed into streams of light and merged back into Ning Chuan's body. Sword Douluo nodded and asked again, "Do you have a master?" "Yes, I do." Ning Chuan did not deny it. There was no need to deny it. Sword Douluo revealed an expression of as expected, scrutinized Ning Chuan again, and then, as if having made a major decision, he said solemnly, "The 7-kill sword lineage has only me left. Originally, I didn't intend to teach you the 7-kill sword technique. After all, you are not a successor of the 7-kill sword, nor are you my disciple. But since you saved Rongrong in the Stardew Great Forest and possess the potential to cultivate the 7-kill sword technique, I can make an exception and teach it to you. However, you need to agree to 3 conditions. Please enlighten me, Senior Sword Douluo." Ning Chuan respectfully clasped his fists. The so-called 7-kill sword technique was actually not difficult to understand. It was about fusing killing intent with one's own spirit power to condense sword manifestation, which would then be released in the form of the character kill. This would achieve an effect no weaker than a spirit ability. Furthermore, the kill characters could be stacked. Each additional kill character would double the power. When 9 kill characters were condensed, their power could even allow a 97th level peak Douluo to rival a 98th level peak Douluo. It should be known that there was a full double difference in spirit power between the two. Back then, Chen Xin's father, Chen Jianjun, challenged the 99th level High Priest Qian Dailiu of the Spirit Hall with his 97th level cultivation. Although he eventually died from severe injuries, the reason he dared to challenge, despite such a huge disparity in spirit power, was precisely this 7-kill sword technique, although all 9 kill characters were blocked head-on by Qian Dailiu. First, you must never point your sword at a disciple of the 7 Treasure Glaze Tile School. Sword Douluo looked at Ning Chuan and said, "Senior Sword Douluo, please rest assured, I bear no ill will whatsoever towards the 7 Treasure Glaze Tile School. As long as the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School didn't make a move against him or those around him, he wouldn't idly go and provoke them." Sword Douluo nodded with satisfaction. "Second, I want you to pass down the 7-kill sword technique so that its legacy does not end. Furthermore, your successor must also not use the 7-kill sword technique against the 7 Treasure Glaze Tile School." As he spoke, Sword Douluo seemed to recall something and sighed. As for the third condition, if one day the 7 Treasure Glaze Tile School encounters a crisis, I hope you can protect Rongrong to the best of your ability. Senior Sword Douluo, rest assured, this junior will certainly do so. Ning Chuan readily agreed. For the next 2 days, Ning Chuan practiced swordplay with Sword Douluo in the forest. On the afternoon of the 3rd day, Sword Douluo bid farewell to everyone and left with Ning Fengzhai. Because Dai Mubai had been recuperating for the past 2 days, and Tang Sen had been frantically searching for Xiao Wu, Shrek had not held classes for these 2 days. That evening, after using the Divine Side Effect system to confirm that Tang Rishan was not secretly observing and that he was not being followed by anyone, Ning Chuan arrived alone at the secluded tavern where Xiao Wu was staying. Seeing Ning Chuan, Xiao Wu excitedly threw herself into his arms immediately. "Little Six, you're finally here." She tightly wrapped her arms around Ning Chuan's neck, and her 2 slender, jade-like legs wrapped around Ning Chuan's waist. Feeling Xiao Wu's anxious and uneasy emotions, Ning Chuan knew that she had been worried for the past 2 days. He gently stroked Xiao Wu's head and said, "It's all right now. The people from the 7-treasure glazed tile school have already left." MHM. Xiao Wu nodded lightly, reluctantly letting go of Ning Chuan. "Then let's go back." "Not yet. I have something I want to tell you before that," Ning Chuan said. MHM. Xiao Wu now had absolute trust in Ning Chuan's words. She nodded lightly, silently waiting for Ning Chuan to continue. Then Ning Chuan continued. "After a few days of probing and subtle inquiries with Rongrong's father, who is the sect master of the 7-treasure glazed tile school, I have already found out the identity of that titled Douluo who threatened me." As soon as he said this, Xiao Wu's expression also became serious. Ning Chuan continued. "He is Clear Sky Douluo Tang Hao, who was extremely famous on the Douluo Continent back then, also known as Tang San's father. I knew that disgusting Tang San was persistent about me. Turns out he knew my identity all along and was after me." When Xiao Wu spoke of Tang San, her eyes were filled with disgust and hatred. When she thought of his repulsive appearance and the scene of him spewing in the Stardew Great Forest back then, the disgust in her eyes intensified. Chapter 74. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. May you be prosperous. Chapter 75. Xiao Wu returns Ning Chuan's side. Though it's hard to believe, that's the truth. However, this can be considered a good thing for us, at least for a short period, as long as Tang San cannot bear a 100,000-year spirit ring and you don't actively sacrifice yourself, then you are safe. Upon hearing this, Xiao Wu, though unwilling to interact with Tang San again, knew it was the best option. But she still snorted. "Don't even think about me sacrificing myself. I'd rather self-destruct than sacrifice for him. If I were to sacrifice, it would only be for you." Xiao Wu didn't have the courage to say the last sentence. She hadn't yet fallen so deeply in love. After all, in the original work, even when she sacrificed for Tang San, it was only when Tang San was about to die and she had no hope of escaping. Ning Chuan said, "Don't say such disheartening words anymore. No matter what, I won't let anyone take your life from now on. You just need to pretend to dislike me, completely cut ties with me, and act like a brother and sister with Tang San. Then Tang Hao won't make a move. And we can even gain some benefits from it. What good can come from that disgusting guy?" Xiao Wu was puzzled, and indeed, if it weren't for their safety, she would never speak to Tang San, that humanoid black bear, again. Ning Chuan patiently explained. "Have you noticed that Tang San wakes up to cultivate before sunrise every morning? Also, during battles, his eyes occasionally turn purple, and his hands become an ethereal white, like profound jade. Furthermore, 2 days ago, I sparred with Tang San and found his footwork and grappling techniques to be quite extraordinary. Finally, there's his spirit power meditation method and hidden weapons. You want me to get those?" Xiao Wu's eyes lit up, but then she remembered that Tang San was after her spirit ring and spirit bone, and his kindness towards her was completely disingenuous and had ulterior motives. While feeling angry, she also said helplessly, "He probably won't give them." Ning Chuan. "Since he's after you and wants you to sacrifice for him, he will undoubtedly try to please you. As long as you threaten him by refusing to speak to him, I believe he will make a choice. Conversely, we can use this to improve our strength, get revenge for you, and collect some interest. When we become strong enough in the future, we won't have to worry about Tang Hao's threat anymore." "All right, I'll do as you say. First, we'll collect some interest from Tang San." Remembering Tang San's ugly, fawning face from before, Xiao Wu felt a wave of nausea. She felt that she had been betrayed, that he had betrayed her genuine feelings. She had never once disliked his ugly appearance. She had sincerely treated Tang San as a brother. Yet, in the end, he wanted her spirit ring and spirit bone. She made up her mind that she would make Tang San pay the price. Meanwhile, Tang San and Yu Xiaogang were having a terrible time. Because Xiao Wu had left Shrek Academy at night and had disguised herself before entering Soto City, Tang San, Yu Xiaogang, and the Shrek teachers had searched for several days without any success. At this moment, without exception, they all believed that Xiao Wu had completely left Soto City. Because of this, Tang San was plunged into immense sadness, listless all day, even neglecting his spirit power cultivation. He locked himself in his dormitory and wouldn't even let Oscar, who shared his dormitory, in. Compared to Tang San, Yu Xiaogang's situation wasn't much better. Ning Chuan's rebuttal that day had caused him to lose face greatly in front of all the teachers and students of Shrek, as well as sect master Ning Fengzhai of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School and Sword Douluo. At this moment, he already had the idea of taking Tang San away from Shrek. Indeed, after failing to find Xiao Wu, Yu Xiaogang immediately bid farewell to Flender. Flender, as Yu Xiaogang's loyal sycophant, refused without hesitation. "No, I can't let you leave again. You already promised me you'd stay. And I've already issued a notice that all future courses for the little freaks will be entirely under your guidance. If you leave, who will teach them? After what happened a few days ago, do you think I can still stay? If you still consider me a brother, then don't stop me, and little San, he is my disciple, and I will take him with me as well." Yu Xiaogang was so angry that he slammed his hand directly onto Flender's desk. Earlier, with others present, he couldn't vent his frustration, but now it was just Flender. He could no longer suppress the bitterness and grievances he had accumulated over the past few days and unleashed all his anger on Flender. This was Yu Xiaogang. Weak and powerless externally, but aggressive internally. Towards those who despised him or were stronger than him, he would be as self-deprecating as possible. But if he encountered those who were truly good to him, or those who, for some reason, dared not be insolent towards him, no matter how strong they were, he could throw a tantrum without restraint. Indeed, Flender was instantly silenced by the shouting. He sighed and kindly advised. "Xiaogang, let's not argue. Arguing solves nothing. And can you not even bear this little setback? This is not the grandmaster of invincible theory I have in my heart." To keep Yu Xiaogang, and also to keep Tang San, Flender used a provoking tactic. Undoubtedly, Yu Xiaogang took the bait. Of course, this also didn't exclude the factor that he himself didn't want to leave. After all, he had seen the talents of the Shrek students, and if he could lead them to participate in the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament, then perhaps he wouldn't have to wait for Tang San to make a name for himself in the future. He could become famous throughout the Douluo Continent sooner. Flender saw that Yu Xiaogang was already being persuaded by him and continued. "Tomorrow, when classes officially begin, I will personally announce that you will be in charge of the students' curriculum. If anyone is unconvinced, I will punish them until they are." What if that Ning Chuan, Yu Xiaogang hesitated. Flender rubbed his forehead and said, "He is indeed a stubborn one. How about this? I'll go talk to him personally tonight. If the previous situation happens again, then I will not hesitate to take little San away." Yu Xiaogang turned his back to Flender, his face full of arrogance and unquestionable resolve. "Good," Flender readily agreed. Just then, Oscar's voice came from outside the dean's office. "Dean, Xiao Wu is back. Let's go, Xiaogang, let's go quickly and see, and little Ao, go notify Tang San." Upon hearing this, Flender's eyes instantly lit up, while Yu Xiaogang breathed a sigh of relief. His disciple, Tang San, was currently in despair due to losing Xiao Wu. Now that Xiao Wu was back, Tang San could finally regain his spirits. A moment later, the two arrived at the academy's main training ground. At this time, the main training ground was already crowded with people. All the teachers and students of Shrek, except for Tang San, who was still in despair, and Dai Mubai, whose lower body had been crippled, had all come subscribe for more books' infinite novel audio.